So again, SNAP activist investment, back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. It is 11 o'clock, so because Sharif is off, Obi's going to actually switch on over. Sean just had a morning appointment. He'll be back in the afternoon with myself, and we back in too. Well, you knocked over, the bull got knocked over by the force, if we're being honest about it. The force of the market heading to the downside. Although we are getting a turnaround at 130 on USO right now. I know, because I just trailed out of my short at the moment that that was happening, which I think made sense, right? Like you set your trails, we slow down, we accelerate back, re-engage shorts if we bounce off VWAP. That'll be the plan of action for myself. Joey options, I know for sure, actually I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna make a strong guess. You had to be looking at iBit today. We'll find out in a quick little second. It'll be Joe and Obi. I'll be back in 2 with Sean, and we'll hopefully enjoy some glazed pork with baby bok choy and seasoned vegetables. That sounds delicious to me. Firing off to the midday. Thank you guys for a fun morning.
See you guys soon.
Welcome, everyone. You know who it is, your boy Joey Options, and joining me momentarily as he does a quick transfer of desks will be Obi, the only one Kenobi. I hope everyone's had a fantastic day. And with that being said, you guys already know what time it is. It's roll call. Let's see who we got in the chat. Once again, I hope it's been a good session for everyone. We'll get to some things momentarily. Ronaldo, Sharif's not here. By this time, he should be in the sunny Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. What's going on, Hangry Wife? Mr. Leahy. Roll call says 1, 2, 3. Hatter. Who else we got? Trip Q's. Other Zinc, Buffalo Soldier, Robert Weiss, Easy Media, Barry the Blade, Brush Digital Art, JConi. What's going on? Howdy, says Alan. Who else do we got? King Clutch. We know who it is. Grey Worm. Hey, a little Game of Thrones reference. Did you watch A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, or is it 8 Kingdoms now? Poplark, Mike P. DeRider, Todd, what's up, Cool Brosh, Outlawed Trader, Paul Newman. I wonder who that is, Todd. Kalua, hey, I thought you were going to Vegas, Kalua. What are you doing here? I mean, come and join us, but also enjoy your time in Las Vegas. James Thomas says, what up, Obi and Joe? Obi's going to be here momentarily. A couple more here. Nygaard, Grandpa Trades, what's going on? And we have LMDT TV Network. Shizzle, says Mike Peter Ryder. All right, guys, I hope everyone's had a fantastic day. Assassino, don't do it yet. Don't pull up the screen yet, my friend. We're going to talk about a couple of our trades here today. We're going to get right into things, guys. We're going to kick it off now. We're ready. Cue the screen, Assassino. And that's going to be on IREN. Obi would like this. A nice short, a break of support level. But guess what? We didn't take that trade. We were looking for the long here and the continuation in the pre-market strength with IREN. But we didn't get it. We take a break even stop out, so that's okay. I was like, you know what? We kept running into that 32.90 level. We weren't getting the level. We weren't getting that breakthrough when I was expecting it. The volume wasn't stepping in, as I typically like to say. So I'm like, after X amount of attempts of breaking through that level, I'm like, you know what? Let's get out of Dodge. We're not heading to Vegas or anything along those lines like Kalua. But we are going to take a look at some other potential names. Now, Gore of Los Pollos, have you seen what's going on in the overall market right now? Some nice bottom signals here and a big-time rebound. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful signal on Tesla, beautiful on the TQs, even iBit displaying something, and even IREN putting a little stuff in. That's going to lead to my next trade. So a break-even trade, we go 0-0-1. We take the overtime loss, but we still get to collect a point. As soon as I get the green light, we're going to head over to Adair, and then sure enough, we're going to go over our next trade here.
Yeah, some comments coming here as reported by New York Post from President Trump. I have the 1-minute chart up in oil so you guys can see kind of the push down and the push back up, and both of them closing relatively flat. Basically, New York Post reporting that President Trump told them that the war with Iran won't last much longer and that the Strait of Hormuz will automatically reopen after they leave. So basically the argument here is that once the U.S. leaves, the Strait of Hormuz will just reopen on its own automatically, and at that point the war will just not be lasting much longer. So we heard reports yesterday from the Wall Street Journal suggesting that President Trump told aides that, you know, he wasn't necessarily willing to, or at this point was willing to end the conflict without reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Now it seems like the reason he thinks that is because he believes the Strait will just automatically reopen once the conflict ends. Back to you.
Perfect stuff. All right, guys, let's get right into that next trade that I was referring to only moments ago. Cue the screen, Assassino. Perfect. All right, guys, Tesla. Yes, TSLL is our typical vehicle here, guys. A nice indecision print, strong opening drive. And then sure enough, what we had going on here, we're just being patient, waiting for the pullback. And then that's exactly what happened. Did we get this one? This is the one my boy Gaurav was talking about. Really nice prints across the board in the NASDAQ. You even see it here on IBIT as it's slowly starting to climb higher. And even on Tesla on the 5-minute. So a lot going on here. But where was I long? Right after this. So we hop out of the gate relatively strong, bounce off a VWAP, climb higher, put in a new high, and then we have some selling, a downtrend. But I'm like, I think that we're going to have somewhat of a rebound here today. So let's get involved on any form of indecision prints south of the volume-weighted average price. And sure enough, that's what we did. We are fortunate enough to take a nice entry right there. Never comes against us. And then boom, off to the races we go. And then unfortunately, we do get stopped at only 10% remaining. And then a massive rebound here in Tesla as it is now ripping towards the high of the day. That is a big move. What's up, Adam, James? I hope everyone's doing good. So, I mean, we go 1-0-1 on today's session with the 1 break-even stop out. This nice move here on TSLL. I did yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? That's not going to happen again today. We were nicely green, and then sure enough, we give it back and then some. And I'm like, you know what? Sometimes you just got to put it down and accept your gains for the session and then come back the next day and just slowly accumulate and have that nice, steady sloping equity curve. That is the narrative. So Tesla, a good one. My boy Obi finally joining us over here. How you been, brother? You're letting things load up.
Yeah, no, I'm just waiting for all the stuff to load up here on my screen. Man, I got out of that Marvell. Where is it? Let me pull that thing up. Yeah, so let me.
I seen you were short that earlier this morning.
I was short. I was pretty convinced that this was going to get through that 93 level. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, just as I got up, it was funny enough. It came back to 93, as you can see here. It came back to 93. So this is what I'm looking at right here. So this is a 3-minute chart, short off of the open, and then I'm like, okay, well, I want to get short pretty much every pop in and around VWAP, and it comes right back down to 93s, and I'm like so convinced. I'm like, okay, all right, this is the time. We're getting through 93s. That's what I was looking for here on that initial flush right here. It tested VWAP and then slapped straight down. Pulls right back in. When was that? 10:57, right as we're closing the show. And I'm watching it. I'm watching it close. I'm like, all right, cool. Is it going to break 93s now? Guess what? Flips on a dime once again. I am not like once, twice. Okay, fine. I'll make that. I'll make that. I'll hold on to that. But if it shows me a third time that okay, this level is being defended, like that's more than enough information for me to be like, all right, well, you know, just get out. It was holding against me for a little bit. That's fine. But now it's actually working. It's $1 in the money for me, and then it's not going. It's not doing what I'm looking for, which is a breakdown on a flush while the market itself is also pulling down. I got to make a decision, man. And that was get out, reassess right here. Look at that. And once again, VWAP is the place to get in. So again, getting slammed off of this anchored VWAP. So maybe I'll get right back into it. Wait and see. But that 93, I feel like maybe we're poised to push through it. No idea. But 94 is trading once again after another reject of this 95 level here on Marvell. But other than that, you guys already know. You guys are coming in from the other show. I haven't been doing much.
Yeah, you've been sailing.
Waiting for the next trade. Yeah, so that's what I'm realizing. Even in some of the blue ocean trading that I'm doing, like quick scalps sometimes, but like really kind of formulating a thesis, being like defining like this is my levels, this is how much I'm willing to lose today on this, and just pushing for that trade. Right. Nice. It's like whether it's either I win or I lose. Don't care. Doesn't matter. But can we work on having trade ideas that work more often than not, and then actually sitting in them for that trade to come into fruition. So that was a little bit of Marvell, but marvelous hold of that 93. Can't argue with that for now, but that could come in. I have no. The
Still plenty of time,
probabilities will change. Yeah, lots of time.
I mean, what they're printing, what I see right now is a pretty good hammer right there for a potential rejection.
Hammer right off of VWAP. So exactly what you want to see.
Good stuff. All right, we got a super chat from my boy, Adam James abroad. This is in like Sarasota or Saratoga or something along those lines. I don't know. Anyways, Adam James, what's going on, brother? $2 super chat. Thank you, brother. I hope you told me your wife was joining you, so I hope you guys have a fantastic vacation. Even though I don't even know if it's a vacation for you, would you classify yourself as a digital nomad? At this point, I think we would, considering you're just always somewhere at some time, and it's not at home. So, I mean, there it is, home being, I'm not going to say, a true Canadian at heart. No, I'm only playing around. All right, guys. Gorev, Los Pollos, I haven't seen you in the chat. Mike Peter Ryder, what's going on? Sarasota, bro. All right, man. Digital Floridian. All right, I love hearing that. But, Obi, if we talk about just taking advantage of certain things, something I did not do here, and when you see the exact same print essentially across your board, the chances of it working, I think we're going to put probability in our favor there. And as they once said in Hunger Games, may the odds forever be in your favor. Ooh. I think that's the narrative. When you see it on the TQQs, you have it on IREN, it's there on Tesla, and then let alone on iBit. So when it's literally across the board, you gotta take the damn trade, Obi. And I think there's gonna be plenty of more opportunities throughout the intraday session. IREN showing some inverted hammer prints. Maybe that was just a little bit of a squeeze and a continuation to the short side. So if we fail to break that 3250 mark, maybe, just maybe, we can put on a little bit of size to see if we're gonna get that second leg down and that curl over. I believe IREN being one of Brendo's picks on the year. Now, if we're to zoom out and take a look at what this thing has been, how this thing has been performing, it's like the overall market. It's like my Robin Hood. It is not good. Down 60% off of that $77 high. You had that consolidation, and then you break down. Can we call that a head and shoulders pattern? I think we can. Is it the prettiest? Is it always going to be the prettiest? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, you break through support, you're heading lower, you put in a new low on yesterday's session, and then now you continue. It's bleeding, and we can't stop the hemorrhaging. Well, we're trying to hemorrhage the, is that how you would say you want to?
Hemorrhage?
Yeah, exactly. So.
Hemorrhage.
I mean, it's tough, and it's across the board in a lot of names. My poor old Robinhood has been getting absolutely destroyed. That's unfortunate. Bullfrog put in another solid session here today. I hope our boy Jose had the ability to take advantage of that one. But we got this Tesla trade on right now, so it's going to be patient. You know how Obi and I are. We look for precision. We wait for those high-quality opportunities to come in, and then that's when we have the ability to put on some solid trades. Did we miss one or two? Yeah, absolutely. But guess what? It's only 11 a.m., and we have plenty of time left throughout the intraday session. And you know what? I'll be honest.
I didn't hear no bell.
No bell.
I didn't hear no bell.
No bell yet. You know what? I've been enjoying lately,
what?
Obi, 3 o'clock till 4.
Yeah.
I find, like that last hour. Yeah, Adair can agree with that last hour. The volatility is not there. It's a little bit cleaner, but when you see indecision prints and these subtle signals, it's just like, okay, let's go. Let's take those opportunities. And at that specific segment of the intraday session, I've actually gone a lot from red to green. Does it always work like that? Not necessarily. A couple of times I've been going green to red, just trying to add a little bit more or a little bit more red. But nonetheless, the majority of the time, I have the abilities just to hone in. You have lunch, you sit back, you wait, you take a little break after the show, and then you have the ability to put on some solid trades in that 3 o'clock slot.
Yeah, no, for sure. I do like that end of day kind of trades. It's similar to that of the first trading hour, right? You have the power hour going into the end of the day, but I don't know, there isn't really a name for the first hour of trading from 9:30 to 10:30 either.
Can we call it the opening auction?
The opening auction's at like what, 9:30, and then that first hour, it's something hour. We got to come up with a name with it, Joe. Name for it, Joe. Power hour. I don't know. The hour of the dawn. I don't know.
Ooh.
We'll come up with something. How about you guys?
Is that a Power of the Dog reference?
No.
Yo, shout out.
No,
Joe, do you know this movie?
I know this movie, Adair.
Yeah,
I heard it was, so listen, you know me, I'm a movie buff myself. Heard it was horrible. Heard it was horrible.
I'm
Listen, don't shoot the messenger, all right?
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, we'll come up with the name. Yeah, I have no idea what that reference is. I'm just trying to see what we're doing here with these here futures. We got that flush last I was looking. By the time I walk from there to here, swiper no swiping, and we've swiped right back up and exploring some of the upside once again here, just shy of that 23,600. Marvell's back at VWAP. So, okay, cool. Let's move on to something else. It's not, that 93 clearly does not want to break as of right now. And maybe I throw up an alert at that low day and see if we can crack some of that held bid on Marvell at 93s. And again, maybe people like the news, the $2 billion with NVIDIA. I understand, I get it. But in my opinion, just my perspective, doesn't mean absolutely anything. I thought it was mispriced for the off of the open, but it is what it is. 330s here coming in on that Micron. I was like, okay, I want to wait for this to come in, and guess what? We're making lower highs now. This is what I want to see. I want to see that continuation of sellers coming in and staying dominant off of the prior day. These are the levels we marked off. We didn't get to any of these levels from the prior day, but we did kind of explore that prior low a day, intraday low, as well as the closing session low. I got to go back and look at what Micron's low was in the blue ocean session, because now these things are doing more than enough volume in the overnight session for me to be like, all right, some brokers will let you carry over inventory from the blue ocean session to the open session, so those prices will also matter if they're doing volume, in my opinion. But we'll get right back to Micron after we get back from Adair.
Yeah, let's talk here about LASR pushing higher in a New York Times report suggesting that the Pentagon is considering using anti-drone lasers in the Washington airspace. So laser push here, LASR, this company is called Enlight. We've talked about it in the past, and back to you.
Nice, good stuff. Yeah, good trade there.
It's all right, man.
You know, that's the same place where it bounced again.
Yeah, it did. It came back a little bit lower, showed some indecision prints, and then that's where you just gotta essentially pull the trigger, right? You have to get involved and just take those opportunities, regardless. If it's there, and as I mentioned, if you see the same thing across the board, you have to take that chance. So we'll write that down. We'll jot that down, and we don't got Katina Mann's sticky note today, but we got Joey notebooks over here, and then we'll be sure to write that down for the next opportunity. Adair.
Yeah, I might as well mention this because I'm seeing some people mention this in our show chat, and I guess it's a headline on CNBC. Brendan and I mentioned this morning, it's not new, and it looks like this was initially sourcing from Business Insider this morning, citing LinkedIn posts. But there are reports that Oracle is laying off, quote, thousands of employees. They're doubling down on their AI build-out. It's reported by CNBC. Again, this is patchwork from things we already knew. We heard reports of the layoffs, I believe before the company's earnings report. And then during the earnings report, they bragged about how they're, quote, very, very good at cutting costs. So 100% we saw this coming. It was also reported, again, going back to like 8 a.m. today. But ORCL isn't watching. People were addressing it, so I wanted to mention it as well. TTD, also on watch here. We're seeing reports that Yahoo's building a competitor to the Trade Desk, and the Trade Desk is a stock that has been beaten up a lot as of late, so worth noting. Back to you.
I'm asking the next thing here, Obi. I think there's going to be some good opportunities considering, right? Like earlier in the day on the NASDAQ here, we'll just go over my watch list today. Neil hit it spot on. I did have Bitcoin on my radar for a potential bounce. I had the market for a bounce today as well. Just regardless of how weak sentiment is, you're still going to get those bullish pullbacks. It just depends on how much relative strength there really is. And I think it's like, okay, hey, we broke through structure. Obi was mentioning that. We've talked about that on multiple occasions as well, too. But eventually, you're going to kind of just get buyers. You're going to see good valuations, and you want to get involved with them. And that's when you see those recovery rallies. So there it is. I have IBIT on my watch list. Tesla, IREN, extremely choppy channel trading in the morning, and then eventually broke down, headed down towards that 3150 level, and then obviously, you know, we have the TQs, the NASDAQ, and the SPY, always in the corner of our eye to see what the overall market is. Have I gone over the Mag 7 yet? No. I'm just hyper-focusing on the names that I picked regardless of what happens. But we'll go over this one more time just so we can really, really hone in and hammer this in. Just like our girl Alexa Grasso, who just by instincts just goes straight for the choke because it's just practice, practice, practice. She didn't even think about it. It's reaction, and that's what we want to have here in trading at times, right? We just want boom. We want to react immediately when we see something displayed. One signal. What am I referring to? One signal right here at $39. Oh, guess what? IREN, a smaller name on the NASDAQ, same signal. Tesla, you guessed it, same signal. And the exact same thing here on IBIT, even on the lower time frames. And if we were to get down into more detail, we head over to those lower time frames, we could see that the volume, the stopping volume, you may have an engulfing print before or on the actual indecision print, and then sure enough, off to the races we go and climb right back up towards the volume weighted average price. Now, can we double top up here on Tesla, Obi? Absolutely, I think so. You're short MU. I want to hear a little bit about this.
Yeah, so I did say I want to see everything that I was looking for. Sure, didn't get short here at the 328s. That's okay, even though we're about, what, $4, well, $6 away from that 322s as of right now. But look at this. We got that pop-up. That opening drive was flush to the downside, which was nice. If you took that scalp short, great, good on you. Strong bid, bit of a reversion. Again, I was watching this, kind of drooling over this reversion. I was like, okay, well, this might have been a little too far too fast, but where are the prices where sellers were involved yesterday? That's at that anchored VWAP. How do I know that? Again, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know anything. The price and the price action will tell me everything that I need to know. So, the chart and the price action. So right here, strong sellers off open. Throw it in an anchored, right? That's eventful. If you want to talk about events, that open is pretty eventful with the kind of range and the ATR just that first candle does off of the open and the volume as well. So I'm like, all right, cool. Prior day opening anchored VWAP. Guess what? It comes in. It shows me that, yeah, maybe sellers are in charge at this level. Guess what? Extends away from that, doesn't really come in at all for the rest of the day. Sure, you can use other things to kind of indicate how far we might get, what's the average range, whatever, doesn't matter, who cares? This is what it did yesterday. Sellers, once again today, I'm like, okay, well, if anchored showed us where sellers were yesterday, why not use that same thing once again, where they were before? They are there again, and this is confirmation. This is the lower high. Let's see if it'll come in. Now, we marked some levels from the pre-market as well. This can come in and knock around this range all at once, right? I'll stop out. I'll play within my risk limits. But you can see here that, yeah, a bit of a slowdown. The market is kind of slowing down as well. The strong bid did make a strong consolidation, which failed with that oil news, and then we popped right back in. So talk about fading some of these oil moves here as well. That news comes in, we pop up, push through the opening range highs, kind of getting a little slowed are the buyers there on USO. 130 halves is the high, pre-market highs sitting at 131s as of right now. But let me know in the chat, what are you guys trading? What are you guys up to? More than willing to take a look at some other names. But in terms of my watch list this morning, it was pretty bleak. And honestly, most of these days, my watch list is pretty bleak. I'll have like a few names on watch. Some of them literally just showing up right before the open. Marvell was one of them. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to trade today. Maybe Micron. Micron was on my watch as well. And then Marvell did that crazy move, and I was like, all right, cool, game on. Let's see if we can take a piece off of this one. Even then, this didn't really do what I was looking for, so it's okay, whatever. Pretty much, flat action there on this one. Managed to take off some pieces off the open and take off some pieces off of here. There goes the swipe up back into 95. So the question becomes, Joe, are we going to get some more resistance? Last 2 times, I guess 3 times technically, we were here, strong sellers. Let's see if we're going to get some strong sellers once again at 95s. But again, it is 11:24. Things are distinctly different. The times have changed.
Absolutely.
And that buyer, or the buying, at 93s was quite distinct as well. So I do have to respect that, and again, more than willing to be absolutely wrong. Like when it shows you
the
that
buying
it's holding,
stepped in not too long
yeah,
ago.
like the buying that's been stepping in on Marvell all day long. 93 hold, 93. It was like 16s comes back in, 20s hold comes back in. I think this is 03s or something like that. That holds. I'm like, all right, cool. This is a held bid. If I've seen one, sure, it's not clean, it's not grinding on it, but at the same time, multiple tests just taking a quick U-turn off of that level. Yeah, there's obviously buyers there. What's up, Adair?
Yeah, just be aware here, HSI halted, news pending. Thank you very much to Darwin in the chat for making me aware of this. I haven't seen it on my news blotter yet. I'm keeping an eye here on Hershey's official website. So once a news release drops or press release drops, I'll be able to keep you guys posted. Not sure if this is one that is super heavily intraday traded. It's pretty light on volume, but just be aware.
Stuff. So we're just in the chat here talking. I'm like, what is that next opportunity? We have OB and MU short. I'm thinking maybe we can get a continuation to the short side here in IREN. So I'm going to keep my eyes on it. We're starting to form this consolidation that I like. Right, so if we get a liquidity grab through the volume weighted average price, I mean, that was a pretty strong rebound, the volume supporting it, but maybe it was just a rally with the overall market. And the sellers can step back in at some point. So I'm willing to be patient. The ideal entry is going to be at the top end of that range. So a strong move on low volume could be a pretty good signal. So just looking at the details here in the lower time frames, what the tape can potentially tell us, and then maybe we can get that curl over, head back into 32 smackers, and that's going to be a potential target for me there. And if it breaks through the low of the day, then so be it. I'll be happy to participate in that one, leave a little bit for a runner. But Tesla has definitely been a pretty good trade here on the day. With that being said, let's get everyone involved here. I want to know how Payco. I know that you're doing good, Payco. You see Payco OR, OB in the chat, always TQ's money, money, money storm. So we'll hit that for our boy Payco OR. He's always doing stuff. Yeah, thank you, Cabbage Trader Patch. Okay. Cabbage Patch Trader. All right, Cabbage Patch Kids. Did you ever have any of those?
Sounds so familiar. Is that like a TV
I don't
show?
know if that was more. Yeah, I think there might have been a TV show. I think it's more or less. I don't know if it's a. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. Maybe it's a girl's toy. I don't know. I think something along those lines. Cabbage Patch.
I don't.
Yeah, they were really ugly. Shout out to what were they called? Furbies as well too. Did you have a Furby?
I never. I think you know what? Maybe one of my siblings may have had a Furby, but I remember the Furbies.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I remember the
Tamagotchi.
Furbies.
You have a Tamagotchi?
No, I never had a Tamagotchi. I think. Did I have? No, you know what? That was. Yeah, I think I had a Tamagotchi.
Everybody had one of those, man. Those little red thing baby dolls.
Yeah. Those little the
yeah, it's like a little
Digimon
digital.
ones. I had the Digimon.
Yeah, I had the Digimon where you shake it and you move
you
right?
You can like battle people as well.
Yeah. You can hook it up to the other person.
No, I remember those.
Furbies are possessed. A lot of people are saying. But anyways, getting back to what I was about to do, I want to see how everyone else's day is going. We're gonna go red and green in the chat. Put it in the session, regardless if you're red or if you're green or if you're flat. Just see how everybody's doing it. Digimon with some good stuff. Pokemon.
Crazy Bones. You ever played Crazy Bones on the playground?
We're 90s.
That was something there because we used to run marbles, and then the Crazy Bones came out, and then I was pretty good with. Now I'm remembering, I was pretty good with marbles as well.
Pretty good with marbles. I never really understood the actual.
You just gotta get it out of the circle, man. You gotta hit him out of the circle. Similar thing with Crazy Bones as well. You used to collect the sickest Crazy Bones.
Remember Pogs as well? We may as well, if we're going back to the 90s.
I've heard of Pogs, but
if you want to go back to the 90s, we'll go Pogs. But aside from that, guys, it looks like we have a lot of green across the board. Roof Ninja, you're red, but I'm sure enough that you'll be able to turn things around. We have Seasoned Right. Same thing with you. There's plenty of time within the day left, guys. Fast Path red, that's all right. We got a lot of greens. Okay, 4SKMO. You see what he said, Obi. Green like his something. We're not going to repeat that, even though there goes IREN though, guys. So we did break through. I thought we would consolidate a little bit longer before we headed lower. That hasn't been the case yet. So we're going to be a little bit more patient on this one. Wait for the pullback. And if we get a retest of this support level and it starts to act as resistance, then that's going to be my green light to go. We'll engage in IREN. This could also just be a pullback in the continuation to the long side, but I don't think that's the sentiment right now. So patience. As I typically say, still positive 1.8%. Let's see if it wants to give a little bit more of that back after this pullback here, Obi.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of watching what's in the chat. You guys are hilarious in the chat. Some good jokes there, some good puns as well. But we'll see what's going on in the crypto market with Adair.
Let's take a look here at BTC. This is the 15-minute chart. I'll switch over to the daily. Yeah, the daily, not one, but two straight topping tail candles on the daily for BTC. Yesterday's high coming in at just over 68,000. Today's high, 68.3. So actually higher high, but relatively flat trading and very much trading other than that brief push higher within yesterday's entire range. Furthermore, continuing to see these lower highs on the daily chart from this pop we made into 76,000 on Tuesday, March 17th. Now, I did this earlier with the US dollar. We're going to have fun with this as well. Let's take a look at the 3-month chart and see how the quarter is for Bitcoin. And unlike the US dollar heading into its third straight green quarter, Bitcoin with its second straight red quarter. I think I mentioned this yesterday as well. We dropped 23% the last quarter, looking like we're going to actually slightly larger loss here of just over 23% this quarter. Gonna have to wait and see what happens here for Bitcoin as we end this month and quarter and period of March here. But Ethereum also headed for 2 straight quarterly losses. Again, this quarter's loss a little bit larger than last. Back to you.
For that, Adair. So yeah, IREN still continuing to bleed. We got Gorev short off of the highs here. That's not a bad play, especially if it heads back in towards the volume-weighted average price. So that move, that rally that we had, just continuous upside in Tesla, starting to give back a little bit of that move here. Heading right in towards the volume-weighted average price. IREN was a prime time, beautiful opportunity to get that continuation in the short side. Now we just have to be patient enough and wait for that pullback. Let's see what the market's doing. We were talking about this last week as well, too, guys. Just the fact that all of these pops, at some point, just due to market sentiment, is that it gets faded. Right, and then we have this is a prime time double top at 366.09 on Tesla. All right, so that's a pretty good look. Wait for this pullback here on IREN, and we're willing to go a little bit of size here and just wait for the opportunity for the breach of that low of the day. It may take some time, so let's rock and roll. Once again, guys, I want to know how your sessions are going. Angry Wife, I asked you what you're trading. Gorb, I know what you're trading. Feel free to put it in the chat, and we have no issues with going over some of the names that you guys have been getting involved with here today. All right, so let's go over to our watch list, go over the Mag 7, and then guess what? We're going to head over into the options chain and see what we got going on at that 366 mark on Tesla and why we are starting to double and why we double topped at that specific level. NVDA, how you doing? All right, not too bad. Climbed all the way up to 171. Now just starting to form a little bit of a consolidation here. Couldn't establish a new high, so be prepared that we might break through some of the support level and head right back in towards the volume-weighted average price. But if the buy program's on, we can definitely continue to climb a little bit higher, especially when you recognize within the price action that every dip is getting bought up, and it's like, okay, on the tape, you run into a support level, and then it's just immediate at the ask and above the ask, and you're like, hey, what is going on here? Well, it's easy to talk about, hey, or justify that this is going to be a continuous buying session. So I'm going to tell you guys a little bit what happened to me yesterday. What I was doing on Tesla via TSLA is that I was in a good position, wanted to add a little bit more. But when you're just thinking about the money and not worried about putting on a good trade, you run into a little bit of issues. So anyways, what we had was essentially a nice opportunity. I was looking for the long, a little bit of a rebound. But what I didn't recognize and what I failed to do was just like say, hey, this is a sell program. It's the inverse of literally what I was just talking about, is that every dip getting bought back up, well, every pop was getting sold off. And so essentially what happened was I took a couple attempts putting on as risking as much as I possibly could on these trades, and then I was just taking cut after cut. And then I'm like, wait, what am I doing? I have to recognize when we're in a buy program and when we're in a sell program. And if we head over to yesterday's session, and I'll show you guys approximately where I was trading at. How dare I not have, why isn't Tesla in here? Where'd you go? Anyways, aside from that, we'll head over to Tesla and I'll show you guys exactly where I was getting involved from the 1 minute time frame and where I really made some mistakes instead of just going with the flow, as I typically say, right? Sometimes, you know, when your parents would say, do as I say, not as I do. This is exactly what it is. So around this area, I'm looking for the pop, wasn't getting it. And then I'm just like, hold on. let me go short here. But I was just too quick to pull the trigger, and I didn't wait for that prime time opportunity for me to really hammer the short when it displayed itself. By that time, I already gave back the majority of my profits and then some, and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? And sure enough, you take that additional leg lower. But you can see through yesterday's intraday price action that every form of pop got sold off and was met with some form of resistance, and then that's when you have these sell program type days. Once you have the ability to really identify that, and they don't happen every day or multiple times a week, that's not necessarily the case. But when they do happen and it's just a steady grind higher, every dip's getting bought, every pop's getting faded, then just try to find an entry off a dip or a pop, and sure enough, you're going to be putting yourself in the right place and at the right time. And what we typically say is just put probability in your favor, and I think that's something that's really important and needs to be taken into consideration.
You got to put yourself.
Oh, you're muted, brother.
So yeah, we talk about this often. It's like, yeah, you got to get lucky. How do you get lucky? You know, a lot of people have different definitions of luck, but how I like to put it is, you know, you always got to learn from people who are much wiser than you, and that's who I look towards as well. And it was, I'm pretty sure I say this often, but it was Seneca who said that luck is nothing but preparation when preparation meets opportunity. Yeah. So you're prepared for it, you've put in the work, and then the opportunity presents itself, and you're putting yourself in a position that gives you a higher probability to be right, or, you know, to take the trade, or be lucky enough that you were there. You know what I mean? Like other people will look at you on certain trades and be like, oh yeah, he just got lucky, right? But guess what? There's a lot under the hood when it comes to getting lucky and getting lucky over and over again as well. So, anyways, that's something that I like to kind of you know, tell myself every now and then, reiterate, remember that it's always about positioning yourself in a place to get lucky, and that means that you are prepared and that you are there for the right kind of opportunities. And not only are you there for the right kind of opportunities, your preparation gives you that wherewithal to actually perform when that opportunity presents itself. Man. So that's always a big part of not just trading, but life. So anyways, let's get back to the stocks here. Okay, all right. Something about my mic.
Something about it. Something about. All right,
yeah, I gotta center my mic here.
We'll get that. We'll get that. Oh, yeah. I seen those in your ear. Maybe it's me too. Got to center that mic.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Aside from that, guys, the game plan that we have on IREN really starting to cook up here. It's looking like we might have the opportunity to get involved. If it rejects that a couple more times, we're going to get a potential short here, but there could be a recovery, right? We have to take that into consideration as well and be prepared to get out when we're supposed to. I was referring to this support level acting as prior resistance. We've pushed down on multiple occasions. A liquidity grab may be through here, but one thing we also have to take into consideration here is that we have now formed a higher low, right? So resistance zone, I like that. We can get involved. Where are we wrong? Essentially at the break of the volume weighted average price past this previous pivot high. But if I believe that we're going to head into that area, then as much as I want to get involved a little bit early, sit on your hands, wait for that precise entry and price to tell you like, hey, we are heading lower and lower. Also, we can draw another trend line here, and that's probably going to be this one. So that's not too bad. Price really starting to compress, and at that point, we're going to be able to find a direction. So choppy in the morning, channel trading out of the first hour, and then finally decided to break down, head lower, and then rebounded with the overall market. Now our sellers are going to step back in as we get later and later in the session. Now, let's go back to our watch list and see what we got going on some of the larger participants, guys. We went over NVDA, right back at the top end of that range. Apple, how have you been performing? Still not as down as some of its other trillionaire peers, but that's okay. Microsoft, how have you been doing? Not good. Aggressive selling after putting this previous pivot high at 367. Microsoft's at 367?
Yes, sir.
Holy schmoly. Amazon. Okay, nice indecision print right there on Amazon at the volume-weighted average price. I would like to see that a little bit lower, but that's not necessarily the case right now. IREN, I might have to get involved with this, OB, and then just give 40s as my stop here. Gonna go super, super small to start just in case, but we are heading towards a key support level, and it looks like we want to break. I have no issues with starting with a fraction of risk just to get involved, and maybe we can get a breakdown. Okay, there's a pop. So we're ready, we're prepared to get involved. We had that good trade on TSLA. We took a break-even stop on IREN earlier in the day. Now it's just like, where are these other opportunities going to show themselves? And with that being said, that's why we have our watch list. Put it in the chat as well, too. How many stocks are in your watch list? I'm curious to know. Meta, how's it been doing here today? Okay. Oh, we just, within this 5-minute print, we almost just topped into a new high of the day of around 558. This name's down 33%, maybe a little bit less now considering we've been rallying. Broadcom, how have you been performing? Cisco, I don't know why Cisco's all the way up there. Where's my Tesla? How did you get all the way up here, all the way down there? Let's put you over there in front of Meta because I believe you surpassed them in market cap now. I don't know if you surpassed, it's just that Meta gave up so many. All right. See, that's the thing, Obi. It's either sometimes in sports, it's go, did you win or did the other team beat themselves? And I think that's Meta's case, right? You don't like beating yourself, that's for sure.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because it takes a toll, and you're like, we coulda. You know, when everything's just like within arm's reach, and you just happen to miss the opportunity, and you gotta try to capitalize. And like you said, that's where preparation comes into play. All right, Robinhood down to $66, absolutely disastrous. As a high of 150, down 60% plus now at that point. Same with iBit, C3AI. We're not really worried about it. How are the cybersecurity names been doing today? CrowdStrike. We want to take a look at this one from a daily. Downtrend still fully intact. We did get that breach, but we didn't hold it, all right? So let's go take a look at that 366 mark on Tesla. Okay, yeah, this is my green light to go here, Obi. Let's see if we can get involved with some IREN here. I don't know why I'm not catching that fill. Okay, there we go, Frex, baby. Frex will give you that fill for sure. My new favorite key. They have smart routing, but I couldn't get it to work, eh?
What do you mean?
Smart? Do you ever use smart?
Me out, but this never printed that price. I think it was an internal fill.
You ever use smart?
No, I don't think I've ever used smart routing. Okay. I keep it relatively simple. I got I like my Arca. Obviously. I like my Memex, my MyAx, my Frex. What else is there? There's some.
You use Edge A?
Yeah, of course I use Edge A's. There's Edge, Edgex.
Well, you just said you kept it simple and named like 9 gateways.
Yeah, but that's like, I mean, if you take a look at how many gateways we have a lot more than those, right? But you know, there's that 24X that's like relatively new. That's interesting as well every now and then. Yeah, there's a few different gates, but like it's always like something I do like to observe as well is like, okay, when I'm looking at the tape here. By the way, Marvell is working absolutely beautiful.
Oh, nice.
Stopped me out. This is what I was looking at. That price right there that it got me out at was not printed in the lit market by like 5 or 10 pennies, but I don't know, who knows, whatever. Got stopped out, didn't get back in. I think that's the bigger issue there. On that one, market pulling back a little bit here as well. On this current 15-minute candle, Marvell still holding that 95 as a bit of resistance. So I guess we're sandwiched between 95s and 93s. But going back to what I was talking about here, when you pull up the tape, this is what I consider the tape here. You can see if you really zoom into this part of the chart. I can't make it really bigger, but you can see here market MKT. Those are all the different gates that are printing. A lot of the time, it's going to be straight up Ds, so that's dark pools. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on the lit market. It can be, but it can also be, you know, delayed orders or whatever. Sometimes they happen at what the actual current price is, so maybe gives them more precedent at the same time. But I like to see what's actually printing. What are the gates that are doing business at different levels. Sometimes you'll see on the level 2 here on the book where, you know, a player will show up like with hefty size on a NASDAQ or on a MEMEX or on, you know, something else. But yeah, I think like more and more brokers, especially retail brokers, are giving access to different gates now. So maybe it's not as informative. But if
you got out of MU?
Yeah, it stopped me out. That's what I said. I threw in a stop because I got up to leave. I was like, honestly, I didn't give it appropriate stop because where should I really be giving it? I should be giving it to 326.
A little bit more, yeah.
Right, I'm getting in 322s. I better be risking $4.
Or even if you do get stopped, you know, to just re-engage.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. It was like I saw it come back into 22s or 21s here, even 20s, and I didn't re-engage. But that's okay. We'll see if it gives me another chance here. But yeah, that's working out quite nicely at the same time. So Micron with a bit of a reversion or a VWAP continuation, if you want to call it, happening as of right now back through 320s. But no, I like to use that as some information as which gates are printing, which gates are actually showing on the book. And I don't know, maybe sometimes that's information, maybe sometimes it isn't. When things are happening really fast, like when you've seen a lot of stuff so many times, it's just I go like hands off in terms of thinking too much about what's specifically going on, and you just let the subconscious take the wheel. Because honestly, like the subconscious can definitely, you know, calculate and interpret a lot more information much faster and in a much broader sense than I consciously can. I just sit here and punch keys. So that's what I'm doing. But 318s now on Micron as sellers step right back in. 324s to 318s now on Micron. But what else am I watching? I'm pulling up some of my watch list here. I forget what I put it on the other desk there. But I had Meta on watch. I had Marvell on watch. I had Hood as well. Robinhood. They had news yesterday, I think. Hood, I forget specifically what the news was, but on Robinhood, we had that spike down yesterday.
So yesterday they spiked lower here. Both SoFi and Robinhood, according to Reuters, were going to be basically iced out by SpaceX in terms of who was going to be handling the IPO on the retail trader side of things. This report suggested that E-Trade was going to be basically taking the lead here. And again, Robinhood, SoFi iced out. Earlier today, as mentioned by Brendan on the morning show, we actually had Elon Musk come out and say, yeah, that's not true. So he's denying any reports that Robinhood and SoFi are iced out. If I get more details, I'll let you know. But again, that's kind of the whole history of the story, which started roughly 24 hours ago now.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So that's what I was watching here. So yesterday, one of the top trades, again, I didn't take, but when I reviewed, was definitely this one where you get that strong action on the news, comes out on a 3-minute chart on the 12:18 candle, strong wick, breaks that low day at 66s, and then flushes down. Sure, I don't want to get involved right there, but as it starts to trickle back in, take a look at this breakdown. The breakdown of 65.28s. Straight flush gives you about, what is this? A 2.64% move to the downside before that bid shows up. Today, gap up, consolidation, just chop, chop, chop today, sideways chop. But yeah, this Micron is still going. I'm just like, all right, cool, man. Yeah, you see so many of these every single day. Yeah, I don't want to chase it. I don't want to do anything with it now. If it pops and holds, maybe then. But seems like as of right now, with the market curling over as well, wow, 95s, what a hold back below 94s here on Marvell. Pulling right back into some of these opening range lows here, and that's at 312. So I don't know if I want to punch into 312s, but I did want to get involved in and around this VWAP as we broke structure, as we made lower highs, consolidated, and then broke support lows at 322s. That's more executable. It gives me a defined risk. Did I risk appropriately? Questionable. Literally, if I had my stop 10, 15 pennies higher, wouldn't have gotten stopped out. But realistically speaking, the wick high was at 96s, at 26s, not 24s and change, which is where I had my stop there on Micron. But it is what it is. Don't care. Where's the next trade?
Where's the next opportunity? I mean, you had the Marvell short earlier in the day.
Yeah,
as
I mean,
well,
it might,
too,
I'm still waiting. I mean, I could have definitely, if I'm a little bit more
Re-engaged on
focused,
that
I could have re-engaged right here because it kind of gives you a double top right exactly at
there.
95. So
all right,
price rejection.
You see it up there, Assassino. We got Jedi. 1786 with is that 250 Dominican pesos? Ooh. Why are you sending that to us? You got to send that to our boy Sharif, who's currently in the Dominican Republic. Maybe we have to call him and see what's going on. Joey, opinion, IBIT, what is ISM? I don't know what ISM is, but will it reach all-time highs this year? We can head over to polling market and see, but I'm gonna have to say no. That's over a 100% move in Bitcoin this year. I don't think we're going to get that, guys. I just think the sentiment is just too weak in that. We have to wait for some things to be broken down. This is, I believe, year 2 of the halving cycle. We got a couple more years. Maybe in the latter half of year 3 is when we really start to find some form of a sustained recovery in Bitcoin. I just think it's too weak right now, and it's unfortunate, right? I'm glad that I drastically reduced the size in that position, locked in a little bit of profits, but unfortunately gave an absurd amount of unrealized gains back, I should say, and then some. So yeah, Bitcoin, got to wait for that trend line to break. My answer for Bitcoin on a complete recovery this year is going to be no. Can I be wrong? Absolutely. And for my account and for everyone else who's a long-term Bitcoin holder, I hope that that is the case, is that I'm hella wrong. C, Turk Pro. Hey, Joey, I've been watching you guys this year on my first prop account. Been steal my 2% daily target and log out, then continue learning from you boys. Dominate. Yes, sir, man. That's what we want to do, and thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you have been joining and learning something. We put on trades, but we also just try to talk about the overall markets as well, too, and just kind of the mindset that it takes to be a trader. Be prepared. I mean, I'm year 4 1/3 now. Just be prepared to get continuously knocked down. People say it's like, I'm done with this, I'm done with that. I've said that more times than I can even count, but you just need to take a breath, continue, move on, and come back, because what happens in the market can be a completely new day. We were nicely ITM right here on IREN. Now it's starting to find somewhat of a rebound, guys. I'm out at the break of this pivot, so if we do start to curl over, maybe there'll be an ad, and I'm happy that I didn't put much size on this whatsoever, so I'm not worried about it. I wanted to wait for the low of the day, and less size allows me to hold for longer durations and for bigger moves, all right? And then when you can really put on the size and hold that for bigger moves like it's nothing, then that's when you've hit the jackpot. Lemon family. Joseph, look at Mask, for sure. Let's take a look at Mask and see what we got going on. Network technology from a daily. This thing has been getting absolutely destroyed. Is that an oatmeal cookie?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, where'd you get that one, with raisin?
Yeah, I thought, it's always
from the room there.
Yeah, from the kitchen there. It's always kind of like a hit or miss, because I'm expecting maybe some raisins, maybe some chocolate chips, but then
I don't really
sometimes it's all raisins, which is fine as well.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I don't like raisins in my oatmeal cookies. That's just me, all right? And that's when. What?
It's literally an oatmeal raisin cookie. It's just gonna be oatmeal with nothing in it? Like,
you never had Dad's? You never had Dad's oatmeal cookies? What?
The raisins are good.
No, I don't think. I don't know.
Are plain oatmeal cookies a thing? Like, I legit did not realize.
No, they are a thing.
Yeah, they are a
definitely
big time thing, man. It's a big time thing.
It's I like the raisins, but when you put the raisins and the chocolate chips, that's a game changer. That's a game changer for me. So
yeah, see, look, KT for the win. I agree. Raisins
but
in the
you don't
cookie
like raisins
weird.
and chocolate chips?
Yeah,
like it's like sweet and then sweeter with the chocolate. Granola. Granola and chocolate, I think, tastes amazing, by the way.
That's a bit too crunchy. Fair enough, Hangry. Yeah, just okay. People are saying, okay, so I get Minnesota. Just because I never had that doesn't mean I can't comment on other things, my friend. Come on, let's go IREN. Curl back over. Obi, you're not engaged in anything right now.
No.
We still have that downtrend that's intact. It bounced off of that 32 mark to a T, and then now climbing towards this pivot. I'll get out of dodge if it breaks this level, and then maybe look for another opportunity here. But if sellers step right back in, then we are, as Little Pump would like to say, we're Gucci on that stuff. Adam DeLuce is with me as well on that. when you coming back to Toronto, my boy, come by. You haven't seen the new studio. I remember you were here a long time ago, or a couple of summers ago, actually. So pop by anytime we go out, have a night on town with this guy. He'll be your host and bring you around the city. That's for sure.
Go for towers.
Ooh, towers. I don't even know if they must have that stuff.
No, they do, because we had to. They don't do them anymore. That's why we had to be like, hey, do you guys still do towers?
Okay.
And then they brought it out from who knows where.
They knew
exactly what we wanted, even though it wasn't on the menu.
Hour.
So
instead of power hour, it's tower hour.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
There you go. I think so. So the Northern Maverick. I don't know. For those who live in this city, is a place on King Street. How they stayed open for so long, I don't know. But a half decent place.
Maverick?
Yeah, the Northern Maverick on King Street, like right at. It's right at Bathurst and Adelaide, pretty much. So essentially, you would get a tower, and this thing was like, it was way bigger than ones that we got, right? Yeah. They were huge, but now they've recently shut down. But I didn't know how they stayed. Next week we'll pop by. Are you serious, dude? Why don't you wait till it's warmer? You got to come to the city when it's significantly
yesterday was pretty warm.
It was good.
Yesterday
to give you a little
like
hint.
15
it gets everybody. It gets
degrees.
even though I'm a 365 barbecue guy, it just really gives you barbecue vibes. We got a lot of sneezing going on around here. Adair's got it going on. Obi is. I feel a
little stuffy.
I better hit the sauna after this and just soak everything out. IRN will be red. I hope so. We moved back a little bit lower. Other than that, I don't have anything. But see, that's the thing about Toronto, right? Everybody's stuck inside, and then during our.
That's how I know you're not from Toronto.
Why?
Because you pronounce the T, that's a hard T. If you say Toronto, that's a dead giveaway. Bro, where are you from?
Toronto.
We're Toronto. If you're from Toronto, you're from Toronto. If you're not from Toronto, you say Toronto.
Did I say Toronto?
Yes, you did.
I thought I said Toronto.
No, it should just come naturally. Come on,
all right. But anyway, I'm
suspicious.
man. Born in Rexdale, man.
Spoofy man.
That's crazy. No, so essentially what goes on here, guys, is that everybody's locked indoors. We had a pretty hefty winter this year. It was a tough one. But then as soon as any form of warm or sunlight and consistent weather steps in, everybody's back outside, which brings the city alive. It's unfortunate that it gets all depressed and no one really does anything. I'm speaking for myself, that is, in the wintertime. But nonetheless, Joe from Chicago says, I'm not from Chicago. But other than that, man, once it cools up, it's a lively city, and that's when things really start to pick up. So, Adam, if you're coming, you got to wait till the middle of summer once again.
All right. No, it's so different here.
It's so different.
So, last time you came, we had a trading floor. There was so many people here.
Oh yeah, for Adam, yeah. You like fall?
Fall. Okay.
Fall's a big one. I mean, you know whose birthday's in fall? Your boys, October, the best month, best month of all time.
What date?
The 5th.
October 5th. Cool. We'll remember that.
You're August, no?
No.
No, I'm close though, right?
Yeah.
It's the summer months.
It's close to August.
Yeah.
What's up?
I know this because of my memory, but Obi shares a birthday with a massive, massive market event, is what I'll say to that.
Really?
You don't even know which one it is.
Okay, maybe.
It was a one-time event. It was a stock-specific event, but it impacted other stocks. And we talked about
Was it the CrowdStrike event?
Yes, it was the CrowdStrike. That's Obi's birthday.
So
nice.
July. It is in July.
Yeah, it's in July. There you go. That's July. It's better. I mean, CrowdStrike event. I guess I gotta look back at what that specifically.
Yeah, I was OVO. I was OVO before Drake was OVO.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I know. Just playing around. All right, we're getting the breakdown in IREN. Obi, you see anything on your radar? Hangry Wife, we're waiting for this break of this 32 mark. Maybe 3190s will look to take a little bit off, but a nice curl over. There was an ad opportunity, but unfortunately we're talking about Toronto, and we didn't take any more opportunities. So let's focus. Let's lock in. Guys, everyone lock in as well, too. And let's look for some next quality opportunities as the market is continuing to sell off a bit here.
Yeah, what was that other name that was running this morning?
Bullfrog?
No. Neil, what was that name that was running? Not Bullfrog, but was not Rivian, was it? Hims? He started with like an R. I don't remember. Rocket Lab. Okay, yeah, let's take a look at RKLB. on the day. Wow, yeah. Look at that. That thing has been pulling right back. I should be shorting this one here, especially after it cracks this. Look at that, 60 halves. Sure, you don't want to get involved early, that's fine. Pulls back into 60 halves, breaks that down. Maybe you don't even want to get there, but pulls up into 60 halves once again, and then pulls right back in. So yeah, this, I guess, I'm getting reminded that this is Ramin's stock, one of Ramin's picks there as well on for the I guess, what are we calling it, the overall picks or the stock picks or whatever. Okay, interesting. A little bit of a pullback, consolidation breakdown happening here, bigger picture. So yeah, we'll continue watching that one there. I don't know. I gotta. You know what? I'll check. I'll check there. I'm being asked if I'm still first on it, but I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think I've been first for this long, but we'll see. Because I think Circle was doing well, and then some other ones were doing well as well. I gotta go back into my chat and take a quick look at this and see where everybody's standing right now. Okay, so all right, cool. Let's pull this up. I like dark mode. Let's go. Okay, so yeah, I remember I am purple. Okay, yeah, so still sitting first. Lucky, just you know, sometimes you just get lucky. 61 days. Oh boy. On this one. So Circle, BW, Sidhu. I guess, you know, there was a lot of talk about Sidhu not doing too well, but it's just holding pretty much flat in my opinion there on SID. Only about $1 or so change down, but BW was the lucky one right there, right? BW, kind of an energy related stock, was at $8 and came into, it's at 13.66s. We saw a crazy move on Circle. Circle, actually, I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I would have held through that craziness on Circle. There was reasons to buy long before, but we'll continue talking about some of those names right after we get back from Adair.
Time to review what's happened so far today in this market. NASDAQ here, really nice pop to start the day, but obviously quite off of this intraday and morning high, and oil has absolutely been in focus as well. So we'll take a look here at USO, which, unlike the market, has kind of been trying to push higher throughout the session. We did have some comments coming from President Trump on the conflict in Iran. More on that in a minute. But probably the biggest stock story today is a name that I know a lot of traders on the show have been looking at, and likely a lot of you in the chat as well, Marvell. MRVL, one of many companies that NVIDIA has injected $2 billion in. But in addition to that investment, NVIDIA and Marvell also going to be working here on a partnership with AI infrastructure. Now time for a little bit of oil talk from President Trump. We know heading into the session, we had heard reports from the Wall Street Journal that President Trump had told some aides that he'd be willing to end the conflict in Iran without reopening the Strait of Hormuz. But he also posted this morning on Truth Social, quote, all of those countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in this destruction here in Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number one, buy from the U.S. We have plenty. And number two, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait and just take it. He ends the post with, the hard part is done, go get your own oil, President DJT. So lots of oil rhetoric coming from President Trump today. We also heard from those comments I mentioned in the first slide of this New York Post interview. President Trump said that the conflict is basically done, but then he also said the U.S. has more to do in Iran. We have to talk about Nike. NKE reporting earnings after the bell tonight, 4:15 p.m. expected. We had China be quite the issue, not just in this quarter, but in the entire first half of 2026, because we're actually heading into Q3 of 2026 for Nike. If you're looking for more context on this report, you can check out some other infographics I have from this that are coming out on X at TTV Research. But in the meantime, we've got Neil. Neil has got a lesson. What is that lesson? I don't know. But we're all going to find out.
Y'all gonna have to wait a second.
Oh, sorry.
No, this is on purpose. Usually I do less in the day, and then at the end, I'll tell you guys how lunch is doing. Straight up, this is delicious. I mean, it's absolutely delicious. Like, you've got, what did I say it was? We had like, I can't pronounce it, gochujang glazed pork, and then we had the sweet potato glass noodles, and it is absolutely delicious. So I was sitting there staring at it. I took one bite before. I'm like, there's no chance I'm only having one bite before the rest of the day. I'm probably gonna, because I'm hungry right now, so you know you gotta eat. Big dogs gotta eat every now and then. Okay, so look, the last couple of days we've been saying something along the lines of pop and fade at the open, pop and fade, pop and fade, pop and fade, pop and fade. And when you have a situation like that, when you look at the cues, it's like pop and fade, pop and fade, pop and fade, or what else? Let's go to 15 so we can see it a little bit better. Like you've just been, like you're getting away with all you know what by just shorting either at the open or shorting the initial move, short the initial move, and then I can throw up iBit and throw the same thing, short when we have pops in the morning, or it just goes right down, or short the pop in the morning, short the pop in the morning, short the pop in the morning. This was a bit different, and then we had the biggest flush came after our only kind of up day. So it's one of those trades where eventually one of two things will happen. Like either it's just gonna be a straight up day, or you're gonna have a situation where it was just a lot harder to hold through. I think this is one of those where it's the latter more than the former, but it's very stock dependent. And I think, I'm just going back to the cues for a quick little second, because if you look at the cues, like you're actually trend up, right? Like your lowest points are in the morning and you're actually holding higher lows. You haven't broken out the initial top, but you're holding higher lows. You can argue that you're trend up, but there are a few names out there that absolutely did hold on. Remember we had that sort of breakaway from 200 on AMD? No mas. Like that's right back in here at the current lows and looking nasty. I showed you iBit. iBit was a case where you just had to maybe give it a little bit more juice. And so the term that we've been saying over and over again is like the whole guilty till proven innocent. And I think what's important to get across here is a lot of traders might say, well, man, like today was a chop fest because really like the NASDAQ did give you both directions. Some names retraced all the way, other ones didn't. It's a bit of a chop fest. I don't think you could do, it would be difficult. I'm not saying you couldn't, but I think it would be very difficult for you to have just banked on this whole blind pop and fade. You're just fading the early move every single day, and then today be like some crazy gangbuster one. Maybe you just held it way further against you than normal, it wasn't as clean, or you found the right names to fade. If you were trying to do it in the overall market, it definitely would be tricky because we're still technically trend up. However, there was one guide that I think gave you some juice here, and that's just USO. And to me, the reason you're able to at least have enough longs in there that worked for you or found your way into the short that maybe finally worked is if you just looked at what was leading the market for the last little bit. And it's been the clear strength in oil. Like you just buy oil and it just goes up. Well, this morning we held the downtread into the open. You held it. When the open came, we held the lower high and we retraced lower. And it wasn't until that broke at about 10:35, that's when the shorts came in. That's when like Intel was a reversion, iBit was a reversion, AMD did that big turnaround I showed you guys in the chart. So really, I think that whole like just trust your levels, trust that the morning highs are gonna hold, okay, that for some things that did work out, but even as we speak, the NASDAQ's going higher. But if you looked at for that one spot to get in, where if you were just losing on your shorts and then this was the moment to get in, it was the leading indicator of USO. That's a very distinct something has changed moment. The behavior of the stock, and it's not rocket science, the behavior of the stock after these two up candles and right in here, this little consolidation candle, that's different behavior when you get this follow through. And then you get clean follow through, clean trend up, just a different story. Sometimes it's absolutely okay to lose doing something 10 days out of 10, and on the 11th try, it loses. But that's when you can switch gears, and knowing how you want to switch gears. For me, I like to start moving into the middle of the day to like trend trades and what's breaking trend, like that kind of a thing, or have a good leading indicator. Because I think in this situation today, if you were going to find that one short to rule them all, it wasn't going to be in the NASDAQ. And if you somehow managed to peg the NASDAQ, it was because you took this as what was happening. That trend break happened in the USO. If it was just short the pops, well, there's your pre-market breaks. It gives you all the indications that it's going to do the same thing. Like all that same setup was right there. It just didn't follow through. You got blown out of the water. Then you would add a double top that retraced and broke the high. It wasn't until USO gave you the goods it was any good. And even then, it's still kind of a long day in here for now. So it's okay to have not. I think it's okay if you were aggressive and making money the last little bit on the shorts. It's okay to have lost today. I think you look for spots to try to get it back. Go back to like the simple setups. That's why I point over to USO, because it gave you, in what could have been a tricky kind of day, a single point where you can now say, we're getting what we're looking for. Now, I remember, only because it's one of the stronger stocks out there, the only reason that I entered into the position in Intel for the VWAP retracement was because USO was going. I actually got in before it broke because USO was going. And then that's the only point of weakness in this stock. If I try anything else on Intel, I'm probably just getting in, it's scalping some out and then just losing, and getting in and scalping some out and losing. But because I pegged this one trade off of USO, we're able to sort of bank the win and walk away from it, even though the short the pop clearly is wrong. It's making higher highs and higher lows. But it gave me one trade which was positive, where I didn't have to be fighting it all day long. And if you can do that, on that one day where suddenly that easy strategy stops working, if you can just manage to limit the loss, find enough winners to make up for like the chop or the shorts that don't work out after like X amount of days of it working, then that's good enough. Because there are going to be days that you're not right. There are going to be days that the pattern or whatever is working for you stops working. And the real question becomes, how much do you give back of the X amount of days where that pattern worked? And you can't, if you give it all back, it's nonsense. But if you don't even give back one day, that's even better. If you give back 1 out of 5 days, let's just say 5 days in a row were good, and you give back one of those, that's great. 2, livable. If it starts to get higher than that, A, because you fought it too long, or B, because you didn't find any of the longs or find the timing of the reversions, that's where you get yourself into trouble. You're right to want to follow the pattern until it breaks, but it's still important to have something in the back of your mind that says, if I'm seeing this, the pattern might be gone today. And I either find some longs or be very specific with those shorts. USO gave that to us this morning, I think. And that's what allowed you to stay green, flat, or small loss relative to what you were making on the last couple of shorts. Usually, again, good luck to everyone's trading. I think it's a little bit choppy, but I like a 1.5% day to the upside. I'm going to go back to this delicious lunch. I'm still, oh my goodness, it is so good. I'm trying to think of a grade here, which is not overreacting, because Joe gets mad when I overreact. So I'm going to go with an 8.8 on today's lunch. I want to give it a 9, but I'm going to give it an 8.8. And Joe's already complaining about it. But coming from a dude who doesn't like oatmeal raisin cookies, what are we supposed to say? I can't. Go back to the midday. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean,
The best score
8.1,
you
that's
can give
good.
is like a 5 out of 7.
5 out of 7?
Yeah, like a 5 out of 7. Come on.
Out of 10, my guy.
Yeah, it's sometimes a good score is a 5 out of 7. Is all I'm saying.
Okay. Is that a reference?
Yeah, if you guys know what that is in the chat, then if you know, you know.
Look what
You're saying it's much less?
should have re-engaged there. No, I haven't had it yet.
Okay, yeah.
I just don't know if I can give it an 8.1, to be honest. I have to try it first. So here it is, stopped out, comes right back in here. Didn't re-engage. I would have got a significantly better price, and then it heads a little bit lower. So, fade the pop seems to be in play right now. I think there might be some more downside here in Bitcoin, guys. It's heading towards the lower end of the range. Where did this bounce off of? Look at this level. I just hate how it. Look at this. Bounces right off of that hammer candle close. Boom, bounce, and then sure enough comes right back in. So that wasn't a bad play whatsoever. But the opportunity to re-engage was there. We have to get involved with that and just take that next opportunity. But other than that, small paper cut. So we'll go 1-1, or 1-1 here on IREN, 1-1 here on the day. So yeah, I mean, not too bad. We had that TSLA trade earlier in the session, and we just don't want to give too much of that back, but we do want to take advantage of a couple more opportunities. Market is slightly choppy here today, guys. Bitcoin hovering around the lower end of the range, looking for the top end right at VWAP. See if we're going to find any more of a breakdown. I think we do slide. Unfortunately, I think we continue to sell a bit here in Bitcoin, and we breached that, what was this previous low of around $35. Yeah, I think I could be wrong, and for my long-term account's sake and for everyone else who's holding Bitcoin, I hope that I am wrong, but just the pace and the trajectory that we're currently moving at, I don't know if this is going to be the end of the trend to the downside there in Bitcoin, Obi.
Yeah, no, I'm still kind of watching and waiting for any sort of information or more information here. We're just chopping around here on the NASDAQ and the ES as well, a bit of a flag action. So yeah, the pop was a nice consolidated pullback in, but we're just kind of orbiting around this 23.5 or 23,500 here on the NASDAQ, and I guess if you want to call a specific number here, 64.75s. Roughly in about at the middle of the range there on the ES as well. We'll be right back from Adair.
Be aware here, guys. Bloomberg reporting as of a couple minutes ago here during the lesson of the day that Apple is testing a Siri feature that would allow multiple commands to be handled at once. Again, excuse me, we're hearing lots about these different reported Siri features. We're going to find out more at WWDC keynote on June 8th, 2026. But either way, another report, another day, another reported Siri feature. Back to you.
Right, thank you very much, Dara. Yeah, no, so what was I looking at before I left you guys? So 95s is pulling right back here, pulling back up in on Marvell. So maybe we've consolidated. We've accepted that 93s is, I guess it's a solid bid, and there it goes, 95 halves pushing back up into some prior range highs. So I'm sitting here kind of maybe potentially thinking about flipping the script on this one as well. Like, we've held 93s quite well. We've stepped up on 94s. Now we're holding VWAP, and then now we're breaking out of this, I guess, morning session range at the same time, 95 40s-ish, 95 34s. At the same time, so maybe, yeah, we're poised for a little bit higher. Don't know if we're going to get all the way up to 98s. That would be something. But again, if the market starts to blast as well, I'll be watching for that at the same time. Here, USO, let's see what that's up to. USO just chopping around here around 130s, 130 halves as of right now. It is trading at 130.29s. But yeah, let me know in the chat what you guys are looking at. Yeah, Tony SRX saying lemon, ginger, honey, add hot water. Yeah, I got to go get a tea soon enough here for this stuffy nose. But yeah, no, I'm trying to see if I can exercise some of these trades on some of this price action here. Marvell looking quite interesting as of right now. Yeah, this is really starting to speed up here as well. If we look at the tape, I'll pull up the book here as well, MRVL, and we can take a look at this together. So look at that, a lot of green prints as it's pushing higher. That's kind of what I want to see as we're breaking out. I want to see some increasing volume as well. I mean, you know, it's not really that strong relative to some of the stuff we did in the morning session right off of the open, but regardless, off of some of these prior lows, it is increasing volume through that breakout, so I do like it. 95.70. So soon enough, we're probably going to see 96s with the way this thing moves, about a 20-30 penny swipe at times on Marvell. So just a quarter away from that 96 level. Again, market tailwind definitely on our side at the same time. Los Pollos Hermanos saying, add some rum too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we have some of that left over in the fridge as well. Not on the show, right? You can't be drinking and driving here. You know what I mean? But 96 is potentially coming up here on the Marvell. What are you guys trading? I want to know. Leave it in the chat. And I know we're not covering small caps. Sharif is not here, but I'm curious to know, what are some of the small caps you guys are trading? I'll take a look at them. I want to take a look, see as to what some of those stocks are doing on the day today. Can you please look at IWM, saying King Tut? Not a small cap, but okay, cool. We can take a quick look at the IWM here on the day and see what that one's up to. The iShares Russell 2000 ETF here on sideways chop, VWAP orbit. That's what I see happening here on IWM. I remember, sometime last year or something like that, everyone was anticipating a crazy breakout on this thing, multi-month, multi-year breakout potentially. Was it this one? Yeah, I think it was this. Oh, that was a long time ago. That was January 2024. Damn. But yeah, it's a bit of a trend here. That's probably April. Yeah, that's the April bid and everything. Not just the IWM, but you can see SPY and NASDAQ also pulling off of their most recent highs with some decent increasing volume as well. Okay, I got some, Rich Tech Robotics. Yeah.
What's RR? What's Rich Tech doing, man?
Yeah, I wanna see what this one is up to. Okay, absolutely bupkis volume on the day today, 2.25. Not really doing that much relative volume. Yeah, 0.9 on the chart here, but yeah, definitely one to watch out for. What I heard recently was actuators. I don't know what if anybody knows any actuator stocks, because if robots are going to be a thing, then actuators might be something as well that robots obviously use in their joints. But that could be something. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys know any stocks that specialize in actuators? Anna saying cool brioche. So let's see what Anna's up to. Okay, Anna is pushing to the upside as of right now. I got to put my price indicator on this. Symbol last price label. Okay, so 1052. Let's throw on a price align as well, so we know. See some high and low of day as well, high-low price labels. Boom. So with a high of 1063 as of right now, trading at 1045 here on Anna. This is a name that started running just a few weeks ago, I think, and it's been doing quite well. It's sustaining on lower volume, which is always, I like it. I like that piece of information a lot when I'm looking long in things, especially when they've had a strong push on volume and then slowly start to trickle up on lower volume as well. You can see that Anna is doing exactly that with a little bit of volume coming in as of right now here. So thank you, Cool Brioche, for pointing that one out. Snapchat is not a small cap. Let's see, IBRX, CETX. Let's take a quick look at these as well. IBRX. Let's see. Okay, some decent relative volume in the pre-market session coming in. Bit of a chop, bit of a sideways chop. But I guess if you're trading in and around VWAP, you can see that VWAP reversion to VWAP or hold to VWAP has been quite nice, giving you decent moves, about a 1 to 2% move each way on this one. Immunity Bio, CETX. These are all familiar names that do show up on my morning scans. I just choose to look away. That might be a me problem. But yeah, not really doing too much. A lot of crumble in this volume as of right now. HKIT, High Tech, also another name. Okay, there's some liquidity. Okay, so this is a sub 10 penny stock. Okay, cool. 618 million shares traded. That's more like it. That's a little bit of dollar volume coming in here. Not a crazy amount, but enough that makes it tradable. And look at this, structures are kind of being respected. Some pre-market lows breakdown, some of those breakdowns, some VWAP holds, some exhaustion, I guess, moves here as well, maybe just off of the open as well. Look at that, sellers in the pre-market at 10 pennies and some change. What is that, 10.5, 10.58 pennies, and then you get a rejection, of that 10.5 right off of the open as well. So decent look here on High Tech. I like this one probably the most out of all of them. It's doing volume. It has the liquidity. It has a story behind it. I don't know what happened here on High Tech Global on Friday, but look at this, a little bit of a gap down. That definitely looks like some sort of an offering where it goes all the way down to 3 pennies from 10 pennies. This right here, High Tech Global Inc. On Friday, it's an offering.
$3 million direct offering, 100 million shares.
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, some of the price action, sometimes you've seen some of this stuff so many times, you're just like, yeah, that looks like an offering. And offering it was. And that's the thing. Sometimes, again, talk about getting lucky. Say you're sitting short on this thing, about 10, 12, 13 pennies, and you know that if you've gone through some of their shelves, some of their SEC filings, you know that they like to raise. Maybe it's time to raise for them once again. Maybe it's a repeat offender like HKIT, and then you're sitting short, putting yourself in that position to get lucky because you have already prepared for a potential outcome and an intraday offering where they get a decent amount of volume to kind of take the other side of that transaction. Boom, straight down to 3 pennies. So a bit of a reversion happening here on the day today, coming in low volume with lows at 3 pennies. Yeah, so this is a good look. I like this. You guys got to tell me about this stuff off of the open, man. Like a reject of those pre-market highs, that's absolutely solid. I don't know how much these are to borrow for us, but I'm going to assume that it's not that crazy, and especially when it's going to give you a crazy move like this. Look at this, just the leg from the opening range low breakdown or whatever, or the VWAP hold, giving you about 20 to 30% to the downside. So even if those shares are ridiculously expensive, let's say for a few thousand or a few tens of thousands of shares, still well worth the move that it's given you. So great look there on some of these small caps.
Okay, I'm thinking about a short here on IBIT, but I just don't think that it's going to come into play, to be honest with you. I was going to use the VWAP as my stop, really tight at the top end of this range, but we're starting to climb. So what I'm thinking essentially is this. We had this print, we had this stopping volume candle, so might be better off on the long side, and it just might be some form of a grinder here today. I think that's going to be the narrative as we're starting to break through the volume weighted average price. Now we're holding this consistent higher lows, and I think that next target's going to be at this pivot. So what do I want to do if I'm going to if I'm going to be looking for a long here in IBIT? Lower end pullback, south of VWAP or a VWAP hold, and then we're long. I'm glad that I didn't re-engage on the short on IREN. That one didn't work out for us, and then sure enough, Tesla. So were these prints that we've seen across the board, the question that I'm asking, is this stopping volume, and is this the potential signal in where we see a somewhat of a trend day now starting to be established? There goes iBit really starting to rip. I'm glad that I didn't take that short, and I'm glad that I just kind of thought this out. Engulfing volume print, indecision, all day grinder. Same print over here, no volume supporting it, but what we have on Tesla and IREN, the exact same things. Is it on NVDA as well? Not as clean, but you have that pullback and then you rebound around the same time that we've seen it earlier here today. So that's what I'm thinking. Nice strong print, the volume supporting the move as well. So as soon as we get that pullback, then I think there's going to be a good opportunity for us to get involved for the long here on Bitcoin. What is the options chain telling us? Where are we trading at right now? $38. Let's see if there's anything that's displaying what we got going on. On IBIT, we didn't see anything. We didn't go over the 466 level on Tesla. We'll do that momentarily. But here it is, 41 smackers OB. Not too much going on. That's going to be 0 DT. Let's head over to this week's expiration cycle, 39 bucks. Okay, that's a little bit of a way from here. We're at 38 right now, so that's going to be that next supply zone right at that $38 mark, $39 mark, sorry, with a 25 delta, so a 75% chance that this thing is going to expire out of the money. So yeah, I like this for a potential long. We got to wait for that pullback, let it bounce off of that trend line one more time, and then look to re-engage. So the better trade here today for me was that Tesla trade. After that, we tried a short on IREN. We didn't hit target. We get stopped out exactly where we wanted to. Probably should have took the break-even stop there or took half off at that 31.94 mark, all right? As soon as we broke through that low, look to take some profits. This is me just speaking to myself. Now, let's pull up that Tesla chain and see if there's anything at that 466 mark. 366, sorry. We don't even have that here. It's every 2.5 points. Where's that next supply zone? I don't see anything outstanding, so maybe we've absorbed enough. 375 is that next largest. Where do we have some in the monies? Anything on the put side, 370s, maybe they want to stay south of that. So I'm going to be really looking at this 375 level here on TSLA for a potential move. And then the continuation, we'll take the long here on Bitcoin and just go smaller size and allow it to grind, because I think that's going to be the narrative here on today's session. It's been really choppy, a lot of overlapping candles within the NASDAQ, within the SPY. NVDA has a little bit more clean of a trend, but Tesla It's been a lot of ebb and flow, selling the highs, popping off of these lows. So we're looking to get involved with some stronger names if we're going to look for that potential long, and that's going to be IBIT right now. 37.95 would be an ideal entry. I don't know if at this point we're going to get that. Maybe $38 is more or less one of the targets that we need to aim for and just post up at in order for us to get a potential fill. Obi, I see that you're back in MU. You're short MU one more time?
Yeah, just in the same area. I just want to make sure and see, or not really make sure, just see if that kind of participation happens here once again. But really keeping it really light. I think the trade that I'm missing out on here is that Marvell long through that 95s and some change. We're holding up quite well. I'm watching this really closely now because, again, if I'm looking for more of the same, sellers step in all the way from 98s, 97s, 97 halves, 96 halves, all the way down. VWAP was in and around this area off of the open at 96s flat. So if 96s are going to hold, maybe I'm willing to get involved here again. But like I said before, the story might have changed here after it's shown us such a strong support of 93s, 94s, now breaking out of 95, so a pullback to 95s maybe for a hold, but we don't even have to do that. The market is curling right back up towards its highs at the same time. So I'm not saying that that's necessarily related that strongly, but at the same time, I want to have at least some sort of tailwind on my side. The market's pulling back, and then I'm in a short as well. That adds some decent confluence at the same time. Someone in the chat was talking about ELAB. Oh boy. ELAB right now, absolutely crazy. So $4 breaking out of pre-market highs, 430s, trading at 475s, and I'm pretty sure this is halted as of right now. So let me just pull that up right here on the day. ELAB, is that a NASDAQ? That is a NASDAQ, and yes, sir, that is halted to the upside. Currently, well, TAP's not gonna show up there. I'll pull it up on here. Oh, there it is, open. As I pull it up, ELAB, I didn't even see what it was tapping, but I guess it was tapping 90s or 80s, so it's opening up at 480s here on ELAB. That's PMGC Holdings, Inc. So pretty crazy move on some of these small cap runners, man. I don't even know what the short float on this thing is. Haven't done my preparation, so I'm not gonna take a stab at this one at all as of right now. But you know, fun to watch, fun to learn from, keeping an eye on this one. Maybe we'll go in and see what the short float on this one actually is on ELAB. So taking a guess, over under 20. Over under 20%. What do you think?
What's that, brother? ELAB?
ELAB short float.
Over.
Over? Okay. Well, I was wrong. I was going to say over as well. The short float's sitting at 6.24%.
Oh, okay. We're both wrong.
So nothing too crazy. Seems like it's just intraday craziness here on ELAB as of right now. But right now we got something special for you guys. We've got Adair with an interview.
Very excited to be here with Dave Hudson, Managing Director and Head of Structured Solutions at BMO, Bank of Montreal. Thank you so much for being here with us today. How are you doing?
I'm great, and thank you for having me.
Of course. Let's get right into it. We'll start by going over the basics here. So for those who aren't aware or haven't heard of the term in a while, can you tell us what a CDR is and how do they help simplify global investing and trading for investors within Canada?
Great, yeah. So a CDR is a Canadian Depository Receipt. It is a security listed in Canada for Canadians that allows them to access global listed companies. So think of your favorite companies listed globally, Sony, Nintendo, you know, really across the world. It allows Canadians to do that in Canadian dollars on a Canadian exchange without worrying about currency fluctuation. And that's the key, because the CDRs have what's called a built-in notional currency hedge. All this is to allow Canadians, you know, increase their ability to access global markets.
So with that built-in notional currency, I know you just mentioned that a little bit. Can you dive in a bit more detail how this actually helps CDR users?
Sure. So I always use Nintendo as my example because I grew up at that time and played lots of video games. But let's say you wanted to buy a Nintendo and you had a view on Nintendo and you were looking at the stock in the local market in Japan. You might have a view on where Nintendo's going, but you might not appreciate where currency is going to go. You don't know where the Canadian dollar versus the yens go. You have a view on the company, not where the currency is going. And so what CDRs allow you to do is get economic exposure to that underlying without worrying about the currency fluctuation. So, you buy in CAD, it's in CAD, and there's a daily notional hedge that allows you to get economic exposure to the stock without worrying about where the currency's going. And so whether it's the yen, the euro, or the US dollar, CDRs provide that hedge.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Thank you for going over that for us. And one of the other benefits of CDRs here, in addition to this hedge, is accessibility. So can you please talk us through the design of these CDRs and how they make investing more approachable?
Sure. So there's a couple things there that's worth knowing. CDR, when we launch a new CDR, we launch it at BMO launches at $10. And so you can think of some of your stocks you may be looking at globally, they may be trading hundreds of dollars, sometimes more than that. And so what CDRs offer is fractional exposure. So it really makes it accessible for investors at home that might not want to put down thousands of dollars for one specific stock. The other aspect that makes it easy, it trades in a Canadian exchange in Canadian dollars, just like any other ETF or stock. So you can use your whatever your preferred trading platform is in Canada, and you can access these. They're very easily accessible. And then as well as, you get the economic benefits of owning it. So that includes, for instance, dividends. So dividends are passed through, and dividends are paid in Canadian dollars. So they get converted by the depository. That's BMO, the bank, and then then they would be distributed to an investor on a proportional basis. So let's say one CDR gives you let's say half of Nintendo. If a dividend would come in, you would get a half of that. Of course, there's withholding taxes, and it's just like owning the underlying in that respect. So, but the idea is to pass along the economic benefits. All of this is to make it easier for investors to access global companies.
Certainly sounds great. I also understand that you guys have actually expanded your CDR lineup, so let's get into it. Can you take us through some of the highlights of this expansion, including some of the big companies Canadian investors will now have access to?
Sure, so thank you. So when when we were here last, I think we had just launched it for BMO, and there may have been about 20. We're now at 84.
Wow.
That covers Europe, Japan, and all the big ones from the United States. And we really are focused on the large mega cap names, the large names that are highly liquid, whether it's Toyota or Mercedes-Benz, or in the US, like all of the large US ones. I mean, we have over 40 in the US. So it's really, what we're trying to do is allow Canadians an easy way to access globally listed securities with fractional exposure. So to make it lower the barriers to access, and at the same time not to have to worry about the currency hedge. And we think it's a great opportunity for Canadians, especially now as Canadians think more globally and think about the world around them. And as home bias drops, and they're just looking what's going on everywhere, what's going on in Europe, what's going on in Japan, what's going on, and obviously the US, which is where we spend a lot of our thoughts. So yeah.
Do you have any other final thoughts or things that you really want people to know about CDRs in general, or the BMO CDRs specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. We have tons of information online. I used to say go and Google it, but now it's whatever AI
makes sense.
You can go through that. There's, all you have to do is, if you're interested, you go into your favorite brokerage, online brokerage, type in the name, and you'll see the tickers. And we are continuing to roll out new ones very frequently. So hopefully it'll even be it's 84 now, and we'll keep going.
Yes, excited to see what the next CDRs will be. Thank you again to Dave Hudson here with us from BMO, Managing Director and Head of Structured Solution. Thanks again for spending this afternoon here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Always from Adair and our guest. I mean, yeah, if you do have a Canadian brokerage, you can run through some of the bigger names as well too. You have the Facebooks, or the Meta, I guess I should call them, the Teslas, the NVDAs. You can all get them in CDRs. There goes IBIT, guys. I should have why didn't I just go in right here at 37.93? That would have been everybody saying thank you. Yes, much appreciated to our guest. And I mean, the opportunity was there. I should have just went because it bounced right off of that trend line, and it looks like it's going to want to be a grind. I don't know if I'm going to get the pullback to the price that I want. Oh, Obi, man, why didn't I just hammer that one there? Tesla putting in a new high of the day, the market putting in a new high of the day. So I think that's going to be the narrative on the session, is just that stopping volume really coming into factor here. And with that being said, missed the opportunity and zero chance am I chasing Bitcoin all the way up here as the volume is really starting to uptick. Way to go. Did you pick that up, Stevenson? That's crazy. USO, the best way to track changes in oil prices. There's not a direct correlation though, so you can use it. So, yeah. CL. Right, or actually go to, we may as well just go to the actual futures.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. You may as well. Wow, there goes Bitcoin.
I got my lemon ginger.
Oh, you got the
with
lemon
some honey
ginger?
as
Nice,
well,
man.
So I forget who it was in the chat, but yes.
Yeah, there's news stepping into the market, guys. Tesla broke out, Bitcoin's breaking out. So now with this pop-up, might be a fade opportunity. I'm real frustrated with myself right now, just the fact that I didn't go in on this specific trade. Look at it hold that level. This was my green light to go, and then off to the races, Adair.
Yeah, apologies there, guys. While we had that segment, we also had some news coming through from Iran. USO dropping lower here as the president of Iran, Pezeshkian, saying that we're ready to end the war, but we want guarantees. So that statement leading to a bit of a move higher here in the market and lower in USO again. Iran saying it is ready to end the war, but they would like guarantees to be made beforehand. Again, we've heard their 5-point plan, which includes total access to the Strait of Hormuz. They also want, I guess, some recognitions here and I believe repayment as well from the US. So it's unclear if those guarantees that were mentioned prior are the same guarantees now. But either way, USO dropping again. Iran's president saying they're ready to end the war if there are some guarantees provided.
Oh, wow, would you look at that? That's the kind of volatility that I live for. Okay, all right. So clipping down into low day, 127.28s here on USO. Oh, boy. I kind of saw this like, couple minutes earlier here.
This is ripping.
But yeah, this has already kind of started, about 6-ish minutes ago. Roughly 5 minutes ago, 127's coming in. So yeah, that low day, that's gone on USO as we speak. Look at this, my chart even has a break in it here. But yeah, if sides are willing to kind of stop this, oil will definitely react. And we talk about just now, being in the right place. Let's see if it can get down into those 126s. Here we go, 126.63s is the day low. Wow, I'm seeing, is this book crossed? Well, not really, no. It's just got to be. I keep looking over. It's moving so fast. You look at the bid, you look at the ask, and then it's just changing so quickly. So
this
is what I'm talking about right now. AM right here. Markets ripping to the upside. So shout out to anybody who had the longs here. 126 is incoming. I guess, is this the first time Iran has said that, hey, we're willing to kind of slow it down and stop the war? Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. Is this the first time they've kind of
I mean, to be fair, like it's been kind of unclear. I mean, President Trump has said they've been begging to end the war, but that's been very much a one-sided claim. But again, the headline here is that the president of Iran ready to end the war, but they would like some guarantees to be made. If I get more details here, I will keep you all posted.
Okay, all right. So
look at the volume stepping across the board here, Obi.
Yeah. This is just algos are all
right. And dude, I should have punched it. I should have just hopped in right there on IBIT.
I mean, there's still trades, man.
There's still trades. There's still trades, but I mean, I don't know if this is going to be a pop that we can fade here now, just due to the amount of volume that's really stepping in. NVDA, not so much, but Tesla, you can see on the lower time frames. You can see it on IBIT, and you can see it on the triple Qs as well, too. So, yeah, that opportunity is there. What is USO up to? Were you looking at that one? Are you short USO right now?
At USO. I don't know if I want to short it, but this is a pretty aggressive move to the downside. So, honestly, I'm looking to fade it, but we'll see. We'll see.
You're looking at, Okay, so you do want to short it.
No, I'm looking to fade the fade the selling that's happening right now, which means that I want to look long. That's
Okay, you want to go long, you want to go counter.
But until it shows me anything distinctly different, I'll definitely lay off of it. Wow, yeah, some of these charts are lagging, dude. I just got to stick with the book here. Yeah, what my trading view is $1 above. My actual level 2 is $1 below. I'm going to obviously go with the level 2 here, but because everything else is pretty much delayed. 125s incoming as of right now. Oh boy, now we're talking. 124s is where I was talking about that potential low or the high of that consolidation. So that's where we bounced off of pretty aggressively, 125s. Currently, we're trading at 124.80s. Let's see where we stop this selling. But 124s, wow, what a short this has been. Absolute banger on some of the longs. If you saw this consolidation from earlier at 23.6s on the NASDAQ, and you saw that news come in, boom, straight through that 23.6 for a 200-point move, almost, or above that, 23.8s on the NASDAQ coming in as of right now. So I'll be patient, I'll wait, miss the short, but again, where's the next trade? The next trade, I'm looking to fade potentially some of this selling that's going on. But if the sentiment is going to stick that we are done, the war is over, then yeah, oil is definitely going to catch a bit of a move here. Current low 24.66s, but we're already trading at 126s as of right now. What's up, Adair?
Okay, so I'm also hearing more reports out of Iran, so we'll get to those in a minute. For a second, though, I just kind of want to get into what happened for those who missed it, for those who showed up a little bit late. It's still on our screen, but basically there were reports coming through here that the president of Iran, Pezeshkian, said that we are ready to end the war, but we want guarantees. That's what led to this drop in oil and the pop in the overall markets. Names and sectors that are going to be particularly strong include travel. Here is CCL. Here is DAL, so you've got the airlines and the cruise lines, of course, both strong. These are names that are generally a little bit weaker when oil is strong because of fuel prices. But then I'm also seeing reports here at the same time from Fars News that if the UAE, United Arab Emirates, continues to participate in U.S. air and missile strikes and continues to host intelligence forces and assist Israel and the U.S., Iran will target the port of Buharia and the important oil pipeline transferring oil outside the Strait of Hormuz. So Iran still reportedly threatening retaliation against the UAE, even as we get reports that they're ready for the war to end should certain guarantees and concessions be provided. Back to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so a little bit of shaky news there, you know, maybe, yes, maybe, but we have conditions and shaky price action as well as we kind of chop around this 126 level here. Current day low still sitting at 124.66s, and there we go, coming right back down. Wow, this is a lot of chop here, so I do have to kind of read the rainbow. Shout out to Skittles there on this tape. This tape is moving aggressively fast, but the only thing I can do is just, you know, when the book is moving way too fast and the tape is moving way too fast, I'm just looking at the level one, I'll be honest. I'm watching the level one and the price action. Let's see if this can potentially come in here. Once again, I love fast moving price action, and there we go, about $1 on the fade. Here we go. Let's see if we can get that 27 halves right now. Oh boy, we're coming right into some of those levels, 27 halves. Can we get back to VWAP 128s? It's 50 pennies away from there right now. 128's incoming potentially. Talk about flip game strong. I don't know about that, but yeah, whenever these news articles come out, you know, you don't have to get involved with the short. The short was absolutely beautiful, but I like the reversions, and one day, maybe, I will do much better at taking these reversions to the fullest of my abilities. But 127, 120, 128 is potentially on the horizon right there as price settles in at a bit of an even level there. So piecing off of most of that right there. As the market pulls back off of that 23,800. We'll wait and see, but not as aggressive or not as strong as some of the price action that was coming in right off of some of that news. So again, this is what I'm here for. Where's the next trade? A lot of excitement there on that push.
Good luck. I'm going to be honest with you. As I was just stepping away for a second, I was thinking about shorting this thing, Obi, waiting for the pullback and then getting maybe a continuation with the trend, but the market's coming back in aggressively here. aiding the majority of this move.
Too far, too fast. Rubber band. So
rubber band, yeah, rubber band. No, I'm not saying that we wouldn't get a pullback, but that rubber band eventually comes back in, essentially, right? That's what you're getting at. So we could have been stretched to one way, for sure. So I'm going to be patient and see if we get any form of signals that say we're going to turn back around. As for iBit, man, oh man. Excuse me, 37.90. That was the long and a nice pop. We would have been out the majority of that one. It's continuing to climb there for you, Obi. Wouldn't be surprised if you head back into that 130 mark, maybe even a little bit south of that. Market's coming back in as well too, but that volume was substantial, and I think that it can be sustained really. At some point, if the pullbacks aren't too deep, that is, if it gets crazy and you give up the majority of that move, I think 30-40%, which we're currently sitting at right now, and any form of a turnaround, then you might get that. But these pops are definitely getting faded at this moment, and we'll have to keep an eye out on that. But USO is on my mind. I'm going to continue to monitor that one, and IBIT for a continuation to the long side. If it comes back into VWAP, we want to see how price reacts, and then we can engage maybe around that $38 mark. But I truly don't want it to pull back that deep for the potential long. I want to see things start to curl over right now. USO, you're still in that one. How much size do you have approximately left of that USO?
Not enough. I pieced off of most of it. I took like breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs left.
This might be me here
on this one right here.
This might be me here on USO.
Yeah, go for it, man. I think sellers stepping right back in
that's it.
on this one. No, thank you, Adair in the chat saying congrats on the rubber band that oil trade. But
you're familiar with One Piece, are you not?
Yes.
Pulling some Monkey D. Luffy over here with the rubber band.
With the rubber band action, yeah, there you go. I guess everyone's watching that. Did you see the new season? Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Good stuff. Yeah, no, I kind of Fabian told me it was pretty decent. I binged it over a decent chunk of was it a couple weekends ago? Yeah, I think so. I'll get out of most of this one right now as we're pulling right back in to those 126s.
There it goes, OB.
Noise. You have that?
Let's go, yes, sir.
Let's go.
Big half off right there, baby.
Nice.
Here it is, a nice little move to the downside. Hey, this is a prime example, Obi, I think, of how you can just make cash both ways between both you and I. You went the long, I took the short. We got some more off right there. I have no issues with getting out the break even now at this point. So a nice little scalp there on USO. Let's pull this up, USO. I don't want it to come back against me too aggressively. I did take the majority of that off right there, so not too bad of a move. We'll take it for sure. I mean, the volatility is in, so we got 99s. We take some off at 70s, right? Now I'm only sitting on about 20% left, coming back to break even. If it continues to climb, I don't want to turn a winning trade into a losing trade. But there it is, a clean flush right there, Obi. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Nice move to the downside there. That was the game plan. I seen that inverted hammer candle right there at after that pullback. I was a little late on the trigger, so be it. That's okay. But we got involved right at 127 there, and it popped all the way down to 125.50.
Yeah.
Wow, the volatility is most definitely in, without any form of question. There will be almost 125.50 on that one. So big time move on USO, and we'll take that all day. I did take half off on that first partial. It's like, hey, give me 20 pennies on that one, full size on that trade. Boom, 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 straight to that move. And then now I'm sitting on approximately 10% remaining in my position. How much you got left there, Obi?
I have absolutely nothing left. So
I
got out of, I would say 90.
You're at break even right now, essentially.
I would say more than 95% I'm out. I'm just like chilling on whatever little bit I have just to say that I'm still in this. But, we'll wait and see if this gives us another opportunity. But a great push both ways, right? You can take it both ways there on the initial reversion.
Yeah, nice work
the
there,
reversion
man.
of the reversion itself.
Yeah,
I like that. Definitely some rubber band action and news trades. This is my I guess this is what I like to wait for. This is what I really love is just that aggressive price action where there's a lot of people who are just like, oh no, what's going on? Panic selling, panic buying. Hey man. It is I shout out to, I would say, gaming. Remember when I said sometimes I just got to turn my brain off and just be like, I am just going to react off of, because I can't read that tape consciously. I can read the level 1, that's what I'm staring at, but the book and the tape, ain't no way I'm reading that. We got reds, dark reds, green.
Is Rocket League still your favorite game right now?
Dude, I haven't played Rocket League.
I seen you on Discord the other day over the weekend gaming some Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It was like a couple weekends ago.
So so I still haven't played Harry Potter in a while, but Harry Potter is absolutely solid, man. I'm loving the game.
Oh, dude, it still says you're in US, so you're back up to 127.
You're
still in it. Okay, cool.
Keep a breadcrumb there, just because I like that. I don't know if I want to call it capitulatory action, but it's definitely it definitely smelled like a little bit of that there. So just risk to the extreme low on the last little bit of that position. But yeah, I took what I wanted off of 126s to 128s right there. A quick $2. I don't know how much that is in terms of percent to ATR, but decent chunk. Let's just take a look at what that is on USO. Because realistically speaking, that's what I should be transacting in, like $2. Yeah, that's great. But what percent of the ATR is it? So ATR, so we'll do this right now. So calculator. I'm not that good at quick calculations, but
I got 127.65. I was a little late on that.
Yeah, so yeah, exactly. It keeps giving you that area, right? So I have 652. So just go the other way, not this way. So we'll do 2 divided by.
Yo, what up, Katina man? Katina man in the building.
2. Yo.
Where are you going long here?
So half an ATR.
Anything? All right. Are you going long USO?
What's going on?
Everything. All right.
Did you see the move just now? Absolutely. Boom, 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 boom.
There you came in, locked and loaded.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, I'll deal with it.
Sorry, buddy.
It's finished. No, it's finished. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Did you just come from the gym too?
No, hell no.
Oh, what do you mean hell no, man? Like this is the time you usually creep back in.
Yeah.
We won't get into the details. We don't need to know what you're up to this morning.
Yeah. No. Sean's back in the building.
Sean is back. So he's got the swag. He's got the swag on him too. If we get the camera on this guy, I have to see him. He's always got that. And there's Randy. There's no camera. There's no camera. We can't get that angle. I'm the man himself. Yeah, part. Obviously, you can't say that. Yo, what up, Randy? Randy is also here. Yeah, Sean was clubbing last night because typically the Monday is the night for Sean to get things rocking and rolling. Yeah. Nice little move. Katina man, both open. Yeah. Pardon me?
Yeah, I was gonna say that was a different keyboard today. I was like, okay, all right.
What do you got? Yeah, what do you wait? He's switching up the keyboard. Like, what tricks you had in it?
I feel like it's cleaner. This is a brand new.
Did you change your mouse up yet too? That thing is major.
Oh, nice.
You got to get a new mouse.
Oh, you got that one clean? Is that what you're saying?
I gave you a brand new keyboard. I felt like if it's mine, it's yours.
All right.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice to you.
Okay.
He got Obi a brand new keyboard. Maybe I get one myself.
As well, a little bit under the weather. Okay, I was gonna say I have a bit of a stuffy nose, so yeah.
And you were just handling his coffee and everything as well too.
No, I've been washing my hands.
It's only a matter of time. I think we need to open the door and just allow some clean. But Katina man, not only was Obi long USO not too long ago, I went short, both profitable on that trade, and in the span of a couple of minutes, right? So just talking about how essentially don't necessarily have to be long or sure you can make money going both ways within the same trade, essentially. I'm out a little bit quicker than Obi, a nice scalp off of those lows. He's still holding on to some. I believe I got out at the right time. I hope it continues to climb higher for Obi, considering the market is slowly starting to come back in. Before I send it back to you, I'm gonna put you on the spot here, okay? You ready? Favorite Drake song?
Ooh, that's a tough one. You know what? As of recent, I'm gonna go with Popstar.
Popstar.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There's some good classic ones.
Good classic ones.
Classic ones in there. There's some from like was it Summer 16?
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. What do you got? Oh, From Time.
Yeah, man. From Time, man. With Janae Aiko.
That's a great.
Not Like Us is crazy. Yeah, that's it. You're gone. Chico games.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
I'm more
gone.
of a weekend fan.
You're gone. You're gone, buddy.
I'm definitely more of a weekend fan.
I'm a big weekend guy too.
Sidewalks from the weekend. That's,
Is that
that's
new?
one of my top ones.
Oh, Sidewalks?
Yeah, Sidewalks.
I've never heard
from the
that one, but I know everything from like the trilogy.
Yeah. Sidewalks, I forget which album that one's from, but I think it's from...
There's nothing that can beat the trilogy. I don't care what anybody says.
It's good.
We re-engage in this short here, though, Opie, I'm thinking.
No, dude, I was talking
Because
about
look what it's
Marvell.
doing.
I was like, there's no way it gets to 98s. If it does, oh boy.
Look what it's doing. Yeah, it's really starting to come back
we had
in
news
here.
this morning in the pre-market. Yeah, so I tried the short
do you know about
multiple times,
Marvell?
Sean, and it was like just knocking on the door. 93s was held like a champ. It just could not crack. You take a look at that chart.
Yeah, I think USO is going to break down here, Opie, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get involved in a little bit more
98s on Marvell. So anybody and everybody who was short, absolutely getting clocked right now on Marvell.
Okay, there we go. Boom, instant ITM. I'm not giving this much room, but we gotta rock and roll on this one here. Boom, a nice clean flush. We'll take a second stab at this one for the potential breakdown. We're just forming those lower highs, even though we do have higher lows. Price really starting to compress, but I like how we opened up at the lower end of the range on the 1 minute time frame. I'm not going to give it very much space, as I just mentioned on multiple occasions, but I do think we can get a little bit of a clean move here, Obi. There it is, a nice little pop to the downside. We'll take that one in USO. Let's see if this can be sustained or not. How are you doing on your position right now, brother?
Not bad. Like I said before, I'm not really too concerned with this one. Looking for the next trade. I think Marvell a little bit more of an interest to me, just popping right back up into that area of resistance from the pre-market session. This is where we knocked on the door of 98s and some change, almost 99s, and we saw what had happened at 93s. Hold of 93s, hold of 94s, hold of VWAP, breakout of 95 and some change. Stair-stepping on to 96 is now beeline up to opening range highs at 98s. With the market that strong, definitely worth a watch here at 98. So I'm being patient. I'm waiting and watching on this one. What's up, Adair?
Yes, people here wondering why the market is moving in the way it is. Why is oil moving the way it is? This happened, what now? Probably like 15, 20 minutes ago. We've discussed it a couple times. I will certainly discuss it again. But yeah, just be aware, guys. I'm putting the headline on the screen intermittently. Lots of discussion of it in the chat. Basically, seeing reports that we had some comments from the president of Iran basically saying they're willing to end the conflict here, provided that there are certain guarantees that are met. So conditionally willing to end the conflict here. That's the deal with USO. That's the deal with the market. Then, like, right afterwards, I heard reports that actually Iran was considering targeting UAE if UAE didn't stop helping Israel and the US. So it's all very, very conflicting. The main story, though, as I mentioned, Iran's president saying, hey, if there's some guarantees are met, we are willing to end the war. People are asking me what reports, where these are from. I'm guessing state media. If you don't get any attribution for a lot of these, they're from state media. The UAE report came from FARS, which is more state media. So that's the deal here with regards to the USO and market-wide mood. If I get more details, I will certainly keep you all posted.
Market's going higher. Someone in the chat there, Obi, asked why are you guys shorting and longing USO at the exact same time? Do you have an answer for that, Obi?
Yeah, it does. It does not matter, right? It's
exactly.
each their own. Everyone's trade is different. Like if it's coming back in pretty aggressively right now, I'm probably going to step out of this one pretty soon. But guess what? I had the long over here on the initial.
Yeah, can we do a picture-in-picture there, Assassino? Can you show both of our screens by any chance? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we'll go
zoom in on that there, Obi.
So take a look at right here, right? So what am I taking here? I'm watching. I'm being patient. I'm flushing. I don't have any FOMO. I'm like, all right, well, the short is great. The short, you hear me saying it. The short is absolutely solid. Oh my God, 128s, 127s. We're still flushing. I don't want to chase down here, but I want to be patient. Wait for that tape to turn, and when that tape does turn, do I have the confidence and the abilities to be like, all right, well, this is a place where I think it's a little too far, too fast. Rubber band, and boom. Quick little reversion back into there. And then take a look at this. Yeah, you want to talk about yours? That's on the other side of the
So
V.
our entries are Obi's entering over here. I'm entering on the other side of that trade, essentially. Moving it down, and Obi's long from up here, partialing on the way up. I'm going short on the way down. way to show that there, Assassino. That's a great picture. You can hold it up there. Just two totally different entries. Obi being over here, right? And me being on the other side of that, scalping it. Took an additional scalp here. We get that open up. I take half off, come back to the break even. Never re-engaged right there at that 97 mark as we head towards the low of the day. So, yeah. I think it continues to move a little bit lower there. Obi, just due to the market's ripping, right? So you have somewhat of that inverse correlation. And oh man, that would have been a nice one in that 2680s, now down to 125.34 and continuing to slide. You're short USO, Katina Man? 126, Katina Man got that. You should oh brother, you should have told me 60 cents ago. Could have participated. That's all right, man. But you got 126 though. That's 56. 125.80, and it's really starting. Look at the tape. Look at the weakness in the tape. Obi's out now. Katina Man short. We're rolling. The guy's just been sitting down for 30 seconds, max. Hasn't even been in the building for 5 minutes. He's already in the club. We let him in. We'll hit the money sign there for Katina Man. We take the shorts. Got to hold on a little bit longer. Good position. I was in full position right here and only about 20% risking as USO did put in that leg. 2NY. You won that bet, my boy.
Nice. Good stuff there, yeah. No, solid. I mean, that's a great explanation of just like why, you know, you can be sitting on the same desk, you can be opposite ways, but at the same time, all you see is a position board. You don't know what the trade like was or is unless you're sitting here during that time, or you don't know what's going on. There goes 125, 124. There it is, right there. I mean, great reason to sell as it pulls back into this, right? This is that rubber band piece, and then you pull back in for a decent continuation from that 27s back down through 25s. Are you still holding on to
I'm not holding on to Katina. I can hear Katina Man's keys going next to me. He's just rocking and rolling.
No, this is coming in at 26.
He's not mic'd up or anything along those lines. So I'm short as well. 126.84 on USO, says Gorev. If you got to short, the market's long right now. Tesla putting in a new high of the day. USO absolutely tanking. We take that scalp. We're not going to complain about it. Would we have liked to participate in this whole move? Of course. But sometimes you have to be happy with what you got and just work on how you're going to get it a little bit better next time. Boom, nice move. We re-engage. Take a nice little scalp on that one. Get out. Should have held that size, but that's all right. And then boom, clean to the downside there on USO. From time, Obi. From time, my boy.
Time, yeah.
But yeah, nice move. You got out of it. You caught that rebound. You had that elastic effect. Nice move. TQ's continuing to climb higher. With that being said, we'll go over the Mag 7 and see what we got going on. Okay, Bravely, sorry, my friend. We forgot before I go over to our scanner, what we're going to do is thank everyone, obviously, on TikTok. Very much appreciated for you guys tuning in. I hope you're enjoying it. Obi going long, USO, me short. Banger of a trade for both of us. Katina Man still sitting in the short as it's rebounding right now back up to 125.69. Volatility is most definitely in. But I want to give a shout out to a couple of names here. We'll go through some of them there on TikTok. And thank you for the love and the support, guys. A lot of you guys saying that, guys and girls saying that, hey, we enjoy watching you come in. We help you with some trading. And that's essentially what we want to do. Now, shout out to Bax, Naomi, trading 24/7. Seen you in the chat yesterday asking about NVDA. Obi's trading 24/7 pretty much. So that's your guy right there. We have Andor, Baldi, DJ Vinny, and Cheer Me Up. Thanks. Thank you guys all for tuning in. And thank you, Bravely, for posting some of those chats in our group chat. All right, guys. Now Tesla starting to come back in. USO with the rebound. Which way do you think we continue for the rest of the day, Obi?
I mean, here's the thing. I talked about that 124 being a little bit of a significant area, just because it showed that to us just a few, yesterday, last trading day. You see here in the pre-market, nice little hold. That was that opening range high from when was it? March 9th, I think, right? Yeah, March 9th, right there. So. Was it opening range high? Yeah, opening range highs right there on March 9th. So that's why I had it marked out. We've been holding that range a little bit. That was the range highs. And we're bouncing off of range highs. Not just one bounce off of 124s, but two bounces. Now with a little bit of a lower high at 124.20s. So if this is going to hold, then I'll be watching that 124. That's all I'm going to say about that. But MRVL, close eyes on that one. because that came right back into that opening range high, starting to slow down as well, along with the rest of the market. Look at these top wicks. Look at some of these wicks on these 15-minute charts as we push up into 23.8s here on the NASDAQ, and then I guess 65.50s here on the ES at the same time. So, excuse me, that's what I'm looking for as of right now. I'll pull up MRVL here on the book so we can take a look at this one together as well. But looking for sellers to potentially step back in, to be honest, as oil catches a bit of a bid off of that 124 level, which again has been a little significant over the past couple of weeks. We'll wait and see. This could be changing news. Again, I asked Adair, I was like, was this the first time? Is this the first time that Iran is saying that, yeah, no, maybe we're going to be playing nice?
This is the first time that Iran has actually indicated that they're willing to concede to some kind of a peace or end to the war. That we know we heard earlier there are 5 points that they need to see hit to make some kind of agreement to end the conflict. But guys, it's worth noting that those 5 points were made in rejection of a U.S. deal. So those 5 points were made at a time where they certainly were not seeming in any way like they were ready for an end to conflict.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So I think that context is really important. And thank you, Obi, for giving me an opening there to discuss it.
Yeah, no. The thing with these, I don't know. If you guys are watching closely, that's all. This is all I'm going to say is, you know, regardless of who comes out with the news, somebody comes out with the news, price goes up. Somebody comes out with the news, price goes down, and over the past couple of weeks, every strong sell-off has been absorbed. And we talked about how that range break kind of happened even throughout all of that, the range hold and the break that happened through that 124 area. And we got all the way to 130s, and now we're pulling back into that 124. So, you know, even trading this thing every day, talk about a tinfoil hat, I'm definitely putting on my tinfoil suit and saying a lot of this stuff is definitely intentional, if not anything, well-timed relative to every other piece of action on the chart. So regardless of what I believe in, I think that a good thing that the market has been reinforcing in me is that price precedes news. So
absolutely,
that's all I'm going to say.
I agree.
People always know. People always are positioning in. I mean, you saw some of the moves where, you know, before Trump posts something in the pre-market, there's a lot of volume that was done on SPY calls, right? And then it's just like, okay, cool. Like, regardless of whatever you think that is, whether you think that's manipulation or whatever, the fact of the matter is that the price will let you know. Depends on you how strong you want to put that piece of information, right? How strong you want to weigh that piece of information. At the end of the day, I don't know.
Time is great.
That's my
somebody knows, man.
tinfoil suit talk.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, Obi, are you planning on any re-engagement here in USO as it's climbing right back up to 126 here, market heading lower?
Realistically, I should be posted at 124s and some change because it came down to 124.20s.
Okay.
So if I do think that 124 is going to be a key area, like I should have been posted there and I didn't, which is fine, which is okay. But the thing is, I like breaking news trades. Breaking news was this action right here, either the flush or the reversion of the flush. Everything else is not necessarily part of that specific playbook. Everything else either can be continuation or reversion or whatever you want to call it. Support hold on 124s, that's a different trade. But when it comes to the breaking news trade, I only have two: get with it or fade it. So I did one of those two, and I didn't get with it, even though I saw it kind of coming down. Again, if I was aggressive, I was sitting back on my desk and I had all the pieces of information right there in front of me with all my hotkeys ready to go, I'm definitely participating in some of this 128, 127 breakdown and using that 124, 125 area to be like, all right, this is an area to buy. If I see that tape turn, reasons to buy, regardless of whether I'm long or short, are still reasons to buy. I'm using that to maybe exit that short position as well. But because I'm not in the short, I'm using that reason to buy to be like, okay, is this strong enough for me to initiate the scalp to the long side? And I guess it worked out, right? Just getting a little bit lucky with that working out on the first turn.
I want to mention something here, Obi. Oh wow, there goes Bitcoin putting in a new HOD as well too, right back up to 38.58. So it's holding those lows really good on the daily. That's a positive sign of strength. Obi, I want to bring this up because someone in the chat, and by all means, like, again, you have to punch your own keys at the end of the day. So I'm gonna pull up a couple examples, and I'm just talking from experience because hopefully, unfortunately in life sometimes you gotta learn things the hard way, and you know how it typically goes with your parents. You think you know everything, and they tell you, hey, don't do that, and you just proceed to do it anyways until you realize, like, hey, they were right all along. Anyways, aside from what I'm getting at, me learning things the hard way, is that I don't believe the current placement of the market, aside from a couple of names. I don't know what position you're in there, Pepper Spice, but with names like the Qs here, and if you can tell me what your condor is in, then that could be drastically different. I just wanted to point it out. No, I had Zero DTX. Oh, okay, on since this morning, but rally just ripped through my short call strike. Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna get at, right? So we kind of want to avoid the condors, even though it's 0 DTE, regardless of the duration of the trade. Look where we're sitting, right? Like, this is kind of in free fall territory. Avoid that, because I've been in this situation before, and I've done it live on air where I just lost a ridiculous amount of money. 697 and between that 677 is really where you want to play the condor, in that sideways consolidation. When you start to see choppiness, that's when you really want to take advantage of that condor strategy. But when you've broken through structure and support levels, I think it's best to avoid it. As you just mentioned, you're like, hey, yeah, it blew past my calls. Your short call, essentially. Imagine if you were just to have played the bull put, right? So it's a little bit more difficult, and for me personally, I would be looking more bear call. But again, you run into these situations, whether it be 0 DTE or a couple months out, whatever it may be, or a week out, it makes it a lot more difficult, because some of these pops, and in a headline-sensitive market, when you're short these calls, you can just get absolutely destroyed, and it's not a good time, and it's not good for your account either, nor is it good for your mental, because you sway away from strategies over duration that have a proven consistency behind them, and you just like don't go back to them. And I'm just telling you guys things from experience. From an equity curve standpoint, when I was just writing OB, even though it's not a substantial amount of money, we'll go to Adair in a second, even though it's not a substantial amount of money, it's just consistent, like small wins, whether it be a couple $100 a week or whatever it may be, that adds up on a monthly basis, and you just steadily grow that equity curve when you are writing options. Adair.
Just be aware here, guys, we're getting comments from Fed Schmid. Now, if that name sounds vaguely familiar, he is the individual who was not a voting Fed this year, but he was a voting member last year, and he voted twice in favor of holding rates when the Fed decided to cut. So the point I'm trying to make here is he's relatively hawkish compared to other members of the Fed. So right now he's saying that inflation is the more salient risk for the Fed, and that the Fed cannot be complacent about inflation expectations. He thinks there is a real risk that inflation could get to 3%, and that it's kind of dangerous to assume that inflation from higher oil prices will be transitory. Yeah, if you guys are ever kind of curious about where certain Feds stand on the hawkish or dovish scale, you can always ask me here in the chat, but I am certainly here to tell you, I would say Fed Schmid, as of late, is maybe the most hawkish member of the Fed. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much. We got a super chat from Nick W. Thank you very much, saying, Obi, couldn't agree more. Look at the bull flag setup on CVX before Venezuela invasion and then Iran conflict. This is a short-term few-day/week rally before a larger drop than sustained rally. Yeah, man, I'll say it again. Price will precede these news. And I remember talking on one of, I think it was either on this desk or the desk beside us, that people were talking about how, CVX is at all-time highs, and some of these other oil names were at all-time highs. And I was like, okay, what's one that's kind of lagging behind? And we talked about USO being in that multi-month kind of consolidation, and this is the breakout of that consolidation. Right? So it's like, okay, well, tensions are heating up, parties are going back and forth, but the price action is very telling. We're consolidating near the top half, above the breakout of that consolidation. We flagged up into that 124. We tested 130s over the past couple of days, and now we're kind of pulling back into that 124. So it's kind of stepping up in terms of these boxed ranges that could be telling. Maybe whatever news it takes to kind of take it up to the next consolidation zone. I have no idea. and things could also flip on a dime. But yes, 100% Nick W. It's the wind up and the build up in the price action is 100% there for sure. And that's why, for me personally, you can agree or disagree, I really don't care about anything else other than price action and volume and the charts. They will tell me anything and everything that I need to know. Everything else is, we can speculate, we can try to sound smart about a lot of things. None of that actually matters. Yeah.
All right, bang, bang, mic drop. All right, I don't have a mic drop thing for that one there. We'll just hit that there. The old boy on that one. Maybe we'll hit this one a couple times for you, Obi. Boom. Yeah, man. We're running this stone cold here, man. Oh, my boy, he's reloaded. Nice move to the downside
99's
there.
coming in on Marvell.
Yeah.
That 100 is going to be
really moving lower here. Potential short signal here on IBIT as well. What's my risk profile looking like? A little bit too, need to wait for that pullback one more time, and then maybe we can get a short here on IBIT as well. Nice scalp on Scalp City, a nice little top up on the day here with that USO short to the downside. Now we have that inverted at the highs on IBIT. If it blows past that, then it's see you later. We don't look to trade that one. Oh, I get it because I said at the highs, right?
Ew.
Katina Man? Was that you who hit that one, or was it Katina Man?
No,
oh, you're smoking right now. All right, well, hit the weed Batman then. That's probably my favorite. All right, there you go. He's not mic'd up. He says he's smoking right now. Hit the weed Batman, my guy. No, not the I'm reloaded. The weed Batman.
He's reloaded on that short.
I know he's reloaded. We're waiting for the weed Batman.
Boom, boom,
boom. All right, man. Having a good time here as always. Coin is flying. A lot of things are flying. Someone mentioned this not too long ago, and this is SoFi, $16, a lot of gamma exposure. Yeah, you're right. And it continued to climb. So if it breaches this 16 mark, you might get a pop into that next zone, which would be 1650 in SoFi. So not too bad of a look there. Attaboy Katina, man. He's up in smoke. That's a movie, right?
Up in smoke?
Yeah.
I think so.
But Cheech and Chong, is it? You ever watched that? Cheech and Chong, Up in Smoke. So there you go. Good stuff. Yeah, so Bitcoin slowly starting to work. USO, a little choppy right now, but continuing to slide. I think if it breaks the support level of 124.81, there can be some more potential downside there in USO, OB.
Yes, sir. Just sipping on that ginger lemon, and yeah, that 125, man. I think that's potentially coming in. Look at it hold the trend, right? So I think we are poised for that 124 here. Let's see if we can crack that prior support level here. DMM SPAC, thank you for the super chat. This one's directed to Adair here, saying, please share 0.1% of my USO short today. You and the entire team rock. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the support for the show, and congrats on your trade.
Nice. So continuing, he's saying that keep covering the news as it breaks. You kick Benzinga's ass, and you look good doing it. Okay, good stuff, man. No, thank you. Right. Thank you to Adair for that. Yeah, absolutely solid. Much. Yeah, bringing us the news pretty much faster than a lot of these other sources.
Absolutely.
And with insight as well. So shout out to Adair for that one. What do you got?
I'm thinking about it, but I'm being a little hesitant.
I'm just waiting for this Marvell to kind of
come into play.
Yeah, I mean,
into your lap
the 95 was a nice push. 96 was a great push as well. 98s, yeah, a little bit of a chop there, but we're pushing higher. Look at the market. The market's continuing to push higher as well. We were talking about that test of that 23.8 on the NASDAQ. We're creeping up a little bit higher, 23.9s, maybe 24s if we're going to continue in this type of fashion here, especially if oil takes a bit of a dump. That could definitely send the markets to the upside with a little bit of fuel. But I'm looking for fuel here on Marvell, 98.50s. Again, pre-market highs is 98s and some change. I think it was 80s. Let's get specific there on Marvell. That's 98.83s. We currently have only printed 98.80, so 3 pennies. 3 pennies away from that pre-market high where we did get that pullback. And yeah, I think if we do kind of push towards that level, then 100, the probability of 100 coming in my opinion, goes up a little bit higher if we do push above that and sustain. We've already pushed above and sustained multiple levels on the day today. And again, it's a large cap association trade. In my opinion, Where bigger picture, yeah, they got a deal with NVIDIA for about $2 billion, and it's been holding. This was a nice little breakout push here as well. I think my biggest miss on this one is like, sure, short's great, but when it shows you that 93 is holding, this 95 and 95.5 breakout, I gotta be there. I gotta be there because that for sure is a bit of a breakout trade on the day today. Catalyst driven, market driven, and price action as well. What's up, Adair?
I looked into Iran's government structure, and I'll explain why in a minute, because I'm seeing some people in the chat mention it, but I'm also seeing some people post on social media mentioning it. So these comments that dropped oil and popped the market came from Iran's president. And again, Iran's president saying that he would like to, or rather Iran would like to kind of see an end to the war, provided that certain guarantees are met. Well, here's the thing. So people, again, on social media and even in our chat, I was seeing some comments saying that Iran's president doesn't really have that kind of control. Well, I looked up Iran's government structure. So the head of state is the revolutionary leader or supreme leader. That is the head of state de jure. So the rightful head of state is the supreme leader. Now, the president is an acting head of the executive branch. So the president does appear to have no actual power to put an end to the conflict. So I think that's what some people are seeing is, yes, we've heard some comments saying that the president of Iran would like the conflict to end, but no, he doesn't appear to actually have any power to put that into action. So lots of fun little things that I'm looking into here. Back to you.
Right away on my Frex, but it didn't.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't have the immediate punch on my Frex for Amex, so I had to type it in. By that time, a couple of seconds goes away in a game of pennies, and seconds you lose a little bit. So that's why my entry wasn't the best right here. It would have been a little bit better if I could wait at 127.58 or even in the 50s, but instead we get a little bit lower there, and that's fine. We take the scalp, we take half off immediately, and then we let the last ride stop out 0.25% break even, and then we take another little scalp, but a nice continuous move to the downside. If we get this breach of the trend, I think there's going to be a good opportunity to get involved once again, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, especially if the market decides that it wants to go on a little bit of a rally here. But this can be a massive teller in which direction both the market and what USO is going to head in the future. So boom, LFG says Farm Trader. I mean, you could have just said that, but yeah, let's go is right. Who is the pizza? Okay, yeah, we can talk about pizza a little bit later. But aside from that, USO now down 3%. Los Polios, it's only for fun, as you know. I am deep in swing longs. Love hearing it. I know you've been talking about your NVDA longs for quite some time, and I'm glad and I'm happy for you to be raking in some cash and extracting it from the market. It's not the easiest thing to do every single day. So if you have the ability to put on some solid swings, once again, congratulations, my friend, and I hope you can continue on that path. Moving forward, let's see what CoreWeave has been up to. Is it just market-wide? Like, we can go through our whole watch list here, like in rapid time, and see how everything is reacting. Microsoft high of the day, Amazon, Alphabet. Look at Alphabet go. Wow, rightfully so. One of the strongest names, Tesla. There? Yeah, Alphabet is absolutely insane right now. Meta, Broadcom, Cisco, Oracle continuing to climb. IBM is up there. It's just market-wide right now, guys. Qualcomm, that hasn't been performing too well. AMD, Adobe not doing too good. But for some of these tech names, been performing really, really well. Oh, there was my opportunity to get in on IBIT short. It's kind of breaking that support level. I can get in at 60s and risk until 83s, giving it 20 cents. That's a little bit more than what I technically want to give it, but that's okay. Let's get involved in a potential short, and in the short here, boom, a nice clean flush to the downside on IBIT, Obi. That's what we want to see as USO breaks through that trend line and slowly starting to climb a little bit higher. But IBIT, it's always nice when you're instant ITM, just to give yourself a little bit of a breathing room. We break through that support, and then an instant flush, a couple of pennies to the downside. We'll take it. Hopefully we can continue. We are bouncing off of this 53 mark. If that's breached, then we're good. I'm not getting out. Once again, I said I'm giving myself 20 cents. We're out at 80s.
Yeah, no, great stuff there, Joe. We're taking a bit of a pullback here on this current 15-minute candle with about, I guess, how much time do we have left? 3 minutes left on this 15-minute candle to finish printing. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of hammer formations. I know you like those.
Yeah.
I'm just looking across the board here on Softy. Microsoft definitely coming in with a little bit of a hammer with only 3 minutes left. Alphabet as well. Everything else, not as much. It's not, I mean, sure, they have some top wicks, but not as distinct as Alphabet or Microsoft. Another name we were watching this morning was Meta, and I was like, Meta is looking distinctly different from the rest of the market yesterday, especially with the market taking a strong flush pretty much all day long, with sellers showing up eventually, if not in the morning session. But look at Meta here, nice little strong sideways consolidation, showing us that yes, no, Meta has some relative strength, and take a look at the strength today. So while other stocks are just recovering their prior day's action, Meta has gapped up and given us another leg, a decent reversion of some of the selling that's been happening on this name over the past couple of weeks. We'll take a look at that as well. On Meta, take a look at this. Past 3 weeks, boom, 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 boom. Lower highs, lower lows, and a strong extension down into 525s. Yeah, 525s there on Meta. So catching a bit of relief here on the day today on this name. So solid stuff. Should be interesting to see where we go from here. Clean hold of 552s as well on this pullback, and I guess that's a reclaim of VWAP. Yeah, right there, boom. That gives you that high-a-day breakout. Some of this action, just looking back at it, it's absolutely beautiful. Take a look at this. Kind of pulls back through VWAP, holds consolidation near high-a-day, steps up on top of high-a-day, pulls back onto prior high-a-days, consolidates, and then breaks out of there with decent volume, and that was news as well. Come on. Beautiful confluence on that one.
Yeah.
What do you got?
We took a little,
Nice.
just a little scalp there on IBIT. I didn't take anything, like a quarter risk. Nice little scalp to the downside. Give yourself 10 cents or so, and then that's it, essentially.
Oh, yeah, nice, good stuff. A lot of liquidity on that one there. USO. Coming back into 127s here. I feel like I gotta sneeze, but you know I gotta time.
Hey, I got
this
it.
properly,
There's
but,
nothing worse than a half sneeze.
Yeah, it's just coming.
You know what you
but
gotta
it's
do
not
is look
coming,
up
but-
at the light there.
And then it just goes away. Yeah, maybe. 127.
Supposed to help you sneeze.
USO. And then the thing is, like talking about sneezes, you know, anybody on Twitter or any of the governments involved in this conflict can just sneeze, and USO is going to move around like crazy. And we saw some of that happen here through that 130. But pulling back up into VWAP, let's see if sellers are sustaining some of these levels here, 128s, 127s. That's what I'm watching this closely for potential continuation here on the day. But that 24, I marked that out a little bit earlier, and I was like, all right. And this 25, this looked like it was going to break down. It was so convincing to me. I was watching this closely. That 25 is going to break down and then swipe right back up, breaking that downtrend, or the temporary downtrend here on USO. There it goes, 99s on Marvell. I'm being patient for this one. Either it had to be long, or I'm going to probably make a decision out of 100 flat here as it pushes above 99s, 99.10s, 99.13s, the high a day here on MRVL as of right now. Watching that Microsoft and Alphabet as well at the same time, because those hammer candles could be coming in with a little bit of selling alongside them as well. Meta taking a bit of a pullback off of its highs at 573s. What are you guys trading? Did you guys trade anything on that USO oil news, that pop in the market, or the short in oil names? I know a good name that was pretty fruitful for some was BATL, Battalion Oil Corporation. Now, I've talked about some of these small caps and how beautiful some of the swings are on the short side for some of these, while USO has been making higher highs and higher lows. Battalion better not be battling for the long on this one, because take a look at this. All the way up to 30s, we're back down at $3.92. So, oh boy. Not an just because it has oil in the name doesn't mean it's as correlated to oil, even though they do energy, minerals, and oil gas production in terms of the sector that they're in. Very different structure and very different underlying kind of things that are happening here on some of these names. So if you're holding BATL being like, oh, oil's up, why is this name not up? Welcome to the small cap game.
Yeah. Stevenson, did you take that? Gore at Volkswagen Meta on the daily, almost close to recovering 2 brutal sell-off days. That's what we want to see. A nice little short there on IBIT. Again, I wasn't risking too much on that one. Quarter, I have nothing left, less than 10% of the original position, but we get a nice little move to the downside. Risk to reward wasn't my best work. We want to be up here at the rejection, but as soon as we opened up south of the support level, it's like, all right, why not get involved? If it comes back, then we take that break-even stop out just like that. And sure enough, we're in at 38.60s. We're out of it now, an additional scalp. Bailey buttons, we were long earlier in the day, my friend. This was by far my largest position of the day. One of the better performers. So there is Tesla, TSLA, right off of these lows, 56, 1156. Essentially never OTM on that one. And then boom, a nice move to the top side there in Tesla. We didn't re-engage on this opportunity when you double top right back at that 1178 level. So a nice little move on TSLA. IREN we didn't perform well on today, but fortunate that it wasn't anything crazy or substantial. Choppiness, so we take the break-even trade on that one. And then eventually here, we take the loss on the short, even though we get them moved down to 31.95. And thankfully that we got out, because look what happens a couple minutes later, straight to the top side. And then we head over to USO. Where is it? Why isn't it showing up now, Obi?
Yeah, the first one.
And yeah, we just scalped City right here on USO, which was pretty good for us here. So yeah, not too bad of a day. Obi's got the long, nice banger trade on the long there on USO. So yeah, it's been a pretty good one. I took NVIDIA long at the lows. Meta sentiment was bad, so no swings there. Yeah, I agree with you, Los Pollos, for sure. Mike Peter Ryder, FY, I feel like it's always risky to short when STRC BTC at the money is working. What is STRC? I don't even know what that is. Do you know what STRC is, Obi?
No idea. STRC.
Let's pull it up. Let's see what we got. Good thing we got.
Strategy Inc. Did they change their name? No, it's not MicroStrategy. You mean MSTR?
Oh man, they said.
This is also Strategy Inc. Huh? What is
this
STRC?
It is. It did say that.
Variable rate Series A perpetual stretch preferred stock.
Oh, this is hard to short. I mean,
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know, man. It worked for us here a little bit. That it does pull up. Does yours say $100 too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got. Interesting. Strategy here. Let's pull up IBIT. I mean, you can. It does it like you got to just be really precise on your entries and get out when you're supposed to, especially when proven wrong. Obviously, much easier said than done, but we get that short move down there. We piece it out on the way down. I didn't have very much on this, 10% what I had on that Tesla trade, to be honest with you. And then sure enough, we take that break-even stop out. So yeah, I mean, it worked out. USO heading right back towards the lows, 126.50, broke that trend line, failed that breakout now as it's heading right back towards a key support level of $125.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to continue watching that 125. Like it held like a champ before. Maybe it just needed some more to break that 125. Maybe accumulate a few buyers so you have the selling required to take that 125 out. Nice. So Sean short 126.20 is absolutely beautiful there as it tries to find a price that it's willing to trade at. And yeah, definitely continuation is on the board here. After that news, you can see we've only made lower highs and lower lows so far, except for that 125. That again, that's going to be interesting to me. Let's see what it does with that 125. But I'm closely watching this Marvell as it continues slow and steady on this one. 99.54s is the current day high here on Marvell. I'm just waiting. I'm being patient. I want to see if those sellers step back in, or do we just continue and squeeze and push into the end of the day? Only about a couple hours and then some left in the trading day, 136 as of right now. So 2.5 hours roughly remaining in the day. So let me know what you guys are trading. I'm watching some of these chips as well. Nothing too crazy. ARM's pushing for its highs. SMCI is pushing for its highs. But range highs is where we're at. SMH kind of recovered prior day's action. Let's see what else recovered prior day's action. SPY and SPY and TQs both kind of traded above prior day's highs. NVIDIA as well. Let's see. Yeah, a few of these kind of reclaimed a lot of that selling, so that's interesting to me here. And we were looking at Microsoft at the same time and Google. So let's take a look at what I was talking about there in terms of the hammer candles there. So I'm looking at a 15-minute right here. Hammer candle there on the 15 after a sustained bid. Prior bar has held for the past how many bars? 5 bars. And it's kind of starting to look a little bit bearish,
there goes
potentially.
Bitcoin. Wow.
Right there. Yeah, no, it's great, great short there on IBIT, man. The market is starting to turn a little bit here.
Yeah.
So I do like to look at the Mag 7 as not necessarily as trading vehicles all the time, but sometimes as a bit of an indicator. So Google as well. Take a look at this one. This is the hammer there, but you can see the next candle not really looking as bearish as the one on Microsoft, where Microsoft MSFT, you can see didn't quite break the prior bar high there. Now pulling into prior bar low, reject of 370 halves here on MSFT as of right now. So we'll wait, we'll see. I want to see if this market turns. 99's pulling back through on Marvell, but you let me know. What are you guys trading? Was in USO at 111s and panicked today and sold. I mean, hey man, that's a solid trade, right? You got up to 130s. If you're holding from 111s, you've been holding for quite a while, and you've been holding through the chop from the past couple of weeks. So great hold. You know, sure, there's going to be panic along the way, and there was a lot of panic over the past couple of weeks as well, right? So great trade nonetheless. Don't beat yourself too much about that one. 111s to 120s, absolutely solid. Good trade there.
Nice. Yeah, I wanted to read this here, guys, and bring it to you. Pharma bro Martin Shkreli demands Michael Saylor's arrest for pitching strategies preferred stock as retirement gold. Now, very interesting here. Apparently, an AI video was dropped, and the latest video shared on X showed a young woman who had retired and is living a luxurious life in a tropical paradise. When asked how she got so rich quickly, the woman credited to buying shares of perpetual stretch preferred stock. STRC is what we were just talking about. Got to be careful what you see on the internet, guys, and don't necessarily follow everything. AI created video. Shkreli not happy. Anyways, I don't know if he's really one to talk or anything like along those lines.
He's always throwing a fit about something.
So he's throwing a fit about everybody. Didn't this guy essentially just get rich by not doing very good things?
Yeah. I think he was the guy who.
You just jacked the prices for a certain medication.
Yeah. That was in there.
So it's just like, dude, who are you?
Like, I get it, business is business, but there's dirty business as well. So.
But he did the exact same thing. So it's like, what are you speaking on ethics for at the end of the day?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think when it comes to ethics, I don't think he's one to talk.
What do you do? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we know Jay Lee. We just didn't say it, brother. Yeah, exactly. Why not? That's exactly what it is. It's like, get that garbage out of here, Shkreli. Look at that Bitcoin move lower as USO continues to climb higher there. So a complete fade, essentially, from the majority of that move that we seen not too long ago. Equally as good. If I had a better entry, we would still be sitting in this one. So, yeah, there it is. Yeah, thanks. Appreciate that. Lower accurate. Did I say that? Lower accurate. Tarnished. I appreciate that. I mean, there's some great duos everywhere, man. That's the beauty about this team, is that everybody is talented in their own ways, and then when it all comes together, it's just a vast pool of different insights and talent. Katina Man, Neil, Adair, Brendo, we got the production team and everything along those lines. So, Obi, Sharif. So, yeah, I mean, there's no shortage over here. Dream Team, man. Dream Team, like, what was that? I was going to say you wouldn't know the Dream Team, would you?
Dream Team?
Yeah.
With respect to what?
Basketball?
Yeah.
Wait.
I mean, I don't know.
What do you mean?
You're talking about the...
I don't want to put you on spot. I don't know.
The Globetrotters?
No, not the Globetrotters.
Harlem Globetrotters? I don't know.
Not the Globetrotters, man.
You trying to play some and one?
No, yeah, so and one,
ball?
man. Did you ever own those shoes and one?
Yeah, I had
a pair of and ones. The zip up too. Yeah, same.
No, and ones were sick.
The Dream Team.
No, we used to play some. And I used to watch the and one mixtapes.
Yeah, the and one mixtape.
And then I would go to the court and try to, like.
You know who the best one one. You know who my favorite was?
The professor?
No, Professor was sick.
Escalade?
Escalade. Yeah, I was gonna say Escalade is. He's so big and he's so clean. He's just like that. He
No,
just
you know what I
manhandles
liked?
the ball.
Hot sauce. Hot sauce was
like
sick
hot
with it.
sauce? Yeah,
hot
they're all
sauce was so
nasty.
sick with it.
Yeah.
But the professor still makes videos. Did you know that? He still
Yeah,
plays.
he's like hooping in like California. He's doing all those California videos.
The professor was sick. Too.
Yeah. They just picked him up in like New York, Harlem, New York, or something along those lines, didn't they?
Yeah. I have no
But
idea.
they just picked him up. He was just some kid. He was just dropping videos.
Oh, yeah.
Professor's the man.
No.
Still hooping. RIP Escalade, though. Skip to my Lou was good as well. Thanks, D-Hide. Look at this short continuing here, guys. A really nice move all the way back almost into the volume-weighted average price here. This is going to be a key support level. At this point, you give up the majority of it. I think you're going to continue that fade and head a little bit lower there. As the market's still holding up relatively good, USO did get that curl over. I thought that we were going to break down. Started to form that ascending wedge, and sure enough, it just broke that trend line and then decided to go oppo right now. So market in, USO up, iBit down, Tesla down, and that's essentially what's going on. A nice volatility spike, multiple opportunities to take some trades on that one. Obi was long, I was short, USO. Katina Man got the short as well too. Sat down for a couple of moments and was instantly in the dollar club. So nice work across the board from the team. And yeah, that's what we have. I mean, see, Obi is like, hey, you and I, we wait a little bit longer for some precise entries. And it's like, okay, calm. But then the storm hits, and then we're prepared. We're rocking and rolling. We took advantage of the volatility spikes, and sometimes that's all you really need.
That's all you need. You don't need more than that.
It doesn't come every day, but just those one opportunity is just like, boom, that's it.
And you don't need too many of those every month.
Yeah, exactly.
You can make a decent chunk of your month just hitting like 1 or 2 or even 3 of those, right? You don't need that much. And honestly, like I've started to look into some of my stats and some of the trades that I do well on. I'm just like, yeah, I don't need to be trading every single day.
Nope.
I don't like. I should still be observing. I should still be watching. I should still be reading the action. So I'm still there and present. But I don't have to be hitting keys every single day. I just, when I see it, I slap it and it's there, and that's pretty much all I should really go for. So I'm trying to do a little bit more of that. But no, the late nights are definitely getting to me. I got to figure out some sort of a schedule when it comes to trading the open session plus the overnight session as well. But it's a work in progress. Again, I'm sure that that'll develop over time as well. Like a proper schedule. Maybe I don't want to cut up my sleep. I want like a sustained at least 6.5 hours, roughly.
Brother, I'm one of the individuals who I'm not very good. When I was in my younger days, I used to work like 24-hour shifts.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I think that took a big time wear and tear on me. And I mean, I'm an individual who needs their sleep now. Like I'm not good at functioning sleep deprived. I need it every night. That's just me. Nice little bounce here, guys, in the overall market. I mean, it's been a pretty good. Buttons try to probably be closer. Yeah, I don't know. I would need 6 hours of sleep would be amazing. Mike Peter Ryder. It doesn't surprise me that you don't sleep that much, to be honest with you. 100% says the real, says what's real Gary F saying. Klua, I sleep 8 to 10 hours, bro. Yeah, exactly. No, Loon, what are you saying, my friend? Probably be closer. But aside from that, Obi, USO, you had the MU shorts, you had the Marvell shorts earlier in the day.
I guess Marvell didn't really work out. Good thing. No, was it Marvell? Not Marvell. Micron, Micron didn't really work out. Come into fruition, but that's fine. I kind of got stopped out initially. It pulls back down to 316s and then pushes all the way back up to the highs on this market bid, but that's fine. Wasn't necessarily in the cards, I guess. So, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. But maybe I was lucky getting out of it because swipe
of the USO.
Crazy. No,
the MU.
Yeah, the micro swipe was pretty aggressive, right? So if I had risked aggressively both times, then I'm probably getting a hit on the swipe up, and especially with a name like Micron that has a dollar spread. Let's take a look at it right now. Let's see what it's up to here in Micron, the Nasdaq. You can see here. Okay, you know what? 10, 15 penny spread. But when this thing opens up, it can easily be $1 spread as well on Micron. What's up, Adair?
A couple more headlines coming from Iran, this time from the foreign minister, Arghichi. This is reported by Al Jazeera, saying that Iran will not be accepting a ceasefire, but rather a complete end to the war, not just in Iran, but in the entire Middle Eastern region. They also said they've taken measures to ensure the safe passage of friendly ships through Hormuz. They haven't seen a response to the proposal, and that Tehran is ready for any ground confrontation. So just as we thought there could be some kind of de-escalation of tensions, looks like tensions are still happening here in the Middle East.
That we have two super chats here from Mopar for Life. Had those Marbury ones in '96. What do I know about that? Not much, my friend. I was 4 years old at that point. I didn't really know anything along those lines. But so he says that his name's, Stefan Marbury was the original AND1 spokesman. I heard about that. Wasn't he from Coney Island or something along those lines? If I can recall correctly. But yeah, man, at 4, I don't even really recall what kicks I was, maybe other than the and ones themselves with the zip ups, but I highly even doubt that. Probably just necklace. It's funny, I was thinking about a little picture of myself as a child. My mom had like this gold chain on me, and I had like a little afro at the top here, and I was only like 1 or 2. I'll find that one and bring it in there if I can. So it's a good one. I've just always been ever fresh. As a shout out to my boy.
Nice.
Ever fresh. Yeah, Obi, there goes the market. I was thinking about a potential long and a retracement, but it broke through this support level, and then now it's continuing to the downside.
That continuation is solid, man.
Yeah.
Look at this step down, like where you had those covers. What is that? 38 halves.
Yeah.
That the breakdown there. As soon as as soon as it gives that up, look at that. Another 20, 30 pennies down.
I wanted to get in here. I was a little late, and then I seen it, and I'm like, all right.
I think where you got in is solid too. Like
all right.
That's the next trade.
But essentially, if I get in here, I'm not proven wrong until up here or even there.
So
but if I'm in up here, I could just use that as my out, and then I'm as close to the high of the day as possible. So. Staten Island, maybe Joe. What player and one player entered the NBA and had the most success in and1 history? I don't know. Wasn't it? I wouldn't even know that. Was it Marbury? Because I know he was in the NBA, right? I wouldn't statistically. I wouldn't know what that is. If anybody was curious, the Toronto Maple Leafs fired general manager Brad Treliving. And I seen a funny meme where he's now the general manager of a Boston Pizza. So it will continue to monitor that one. I mean, as a Leaf fan, they're probably going to blow it up relatively soon. Aside from that, Obi, we've got 10 minutes left here. Sure. Anything that you have on your radar for the remainder of the week, or what you got going on here today? Do you think that the market can take a second leg higher here?
I have no idea what the market can or what it's going to do. But in terms of for the rest of the week, what do I have on watch? I got USO on watch.
Just straight USO.
By far, that's been one of the best trading vehicles for me. Specifically, just trading pure price action, intraday news trading, happening absolutely cleanly on that one, right? You saw it. You were there. You just went selling.
Yeah.
Tape turn, boom. Take that scalp off. Take the other piece as well. There's so many opportunities, left, right, and center. And if you're really exercising some of your price action playbooks, USO off of news, when everybody's panicking, there's a lot of crazy price action happening. That's again, I really like some of that stuff here. But there's slower names as well. I don't know if there's any interesting earnings names coming up. I guess Nike, right? Thank you, Adair. Nike potentially could be something as well.
Tomorrow morning, Lamb Weston, LW, and Conagra, CAG.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Nike after the bell.
Nike after bell today, yeah.
Digital. Beyond Meat after the bell as well, too.
But Beyond Meat is what? It's just I think it's like BYND. How much is this thing priced at now? 70 pennies, yeah, okay. Maybe something to watch out for. I remember when Beyond Meat was at its highs.
Were you ever involved in that one? Are we going to did I get to go to it?
That was a SPAC. But I don't remember being involved in that one. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of SPACs I sold before they actually did the acquisition. But we'll be right back from Adair.
We're extremely conflicting headlines here out of Iran. So just be aware here if you are trading oil. Ashtark reporting that a U.S. official said that the U.S. is holding serious talks with the new leaders in Iran, a sentiment we've heard unconfirmed and denied by U.S. and White House officials many times. And then also we've got Channel 13, which is an Israeli station. They're reporting, quoting an Israeli political official, that whatever Iran's response is to America is going to be derailing the talks. So one side reporting that talks are happening, the other side reporting that talks will be derailed. Super back and forth here, just giving you guys some updates as we watch USO. Back to you.
And I think that's going to be the narrative for quite some time, to be honest with you. It's going to be a tennis match, one party saying one thing, the other saying the other thing, and then you just have to wait until there's an actually definitive conclusion. It's kind of like the NVDA, with the NVDA and their chips, right? Like they're getting them with China, that is. They're getting them one day, the next day they're not, it's approved, the next day it's not. So I think that's going to be what we have going on. We truly, from our perspective, have no idea, aside from what Adair is bringing to us, of like what actually is going on behind the scenes, right? So I think it's going to be a tennis match, a game of ping pong, essentially, if he said, she said, for quite some time, Obi.
No, that that reminds me of a meme that I use often. That comes from what's that Wii Sports. So yeah, right here. I'll pull it up here. It's just in a YouTube video. This is not great quality, but probably because I searched it off of Bing videos.
We can't show. Yeah,
we can't show YouTube videos. Okay, cool. No worries. I'll find it in a GIF here. We GIF. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh, the one where they're like really close to each other and they're just macking the ball.
I'll just get it off of Tenor here. Oh, no. You know what? Give me a sec. I'll find it.
No worries. Just make sure it's not an old video there. Yeah, Mopar, I didn't know that. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I didn't know FVF was part of And1. Now a Houston Rocket, I believe, won a championship with the Toronto Raptors. Secondary, good off the bench point guard. See what Katie. Minnesota Trader, I believe CNN too. So yeah, I mean, 5 minutes left here, guys. We can do a quick trade review. We'll hop over some things. A nice volatility spike within the market. We can run through our watch list one more time. We were talking about Michael Saylor's preferred stock there. Really not happy about that whatsoever, saying he should be locked up. But it's the pot calling the kettle black, essentially. And moving forward, let's take a look at what we got going on from our watch list and go down a couple names and just see who was really participating. TSM still holding up really well here, guys. Did the Quantum started to rock and roll, but it was half decently strong here today. So not too bad. Obi has it up. Is that what you think?
Yeah. So this is kind of how I like to kind of observe this conflict here. I don't know if you guys seen it. Look at that. Know you. First, you start off slowly, you're getting back and forth, and then, you start to getting closer. Boom, 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 boom. I just thought it was hilarious. And it kind of, perfectly represents sometimes some of the conflict that's, or not the conflict, the back and forth. It doesn't represent the conflict, it represents the back and forth that's really happening.
How did Circle perform today off of that news, Obi?
I have no idea.
It did climb. It's not very liquid. Let's do this actually as well.
I saw it like last week. It had that crazy news, and it's just been continuing.
Has it been
giving it all back
still? Who's in? Oh, your boy Joe in third.
Fourth place. Yeah.
I'm in fourth right now. Yeah, Randy. I should be in third.
Randy coming in second place there.
Asterisk there.
Boom. I saw he had that XOM there.
Yeah, he had that XOM
nice.
there. For me, it's just like, I think at this point, just where we are in the race, like Obi, you're absolutely dominating on, what is that, your Babcock and Wilcox.
Babcock and Wilcox Enterprises. How can you not go long?
How would you, you didn't pick that this year? I think it's just a matter now of just where we're all currently sitting is how much can you not lose, not essentially how much are you going to gain. And if you're just not losing the most, then you have a pretty good position. Where's our boy Sean in that 8th spot? BBAI really doing him dirty here, down 45%, and then Eli Lilly down 15% right there. Our boy Mateo, Amri, that's Alibaba. I was going to say Alibaba down a quarter, and then you have Uber down 15%, but then is Amri's over here, Concrete Company, I believe this is down 4.2%. Yep. Brendo, IREN, we were trying to trade this today. Tesla down 17%, and Constellation down a little bit. Chat, man, I don't even really know what to say to you guys, really. Tesla, NVDA, BBAI. I think you guys got done a little bit dirty, 45%, 6%, 17%, respectively. Not too good of a look whatsoever, but your boy CrowdStrike down 16%, JPM down 9%, Thermo Fisher doing Sharif dirty down 20% as well. And then we have Ramin, Rocket Labs down 27%.
Oh boy.
And Fabian, what's he been doing? Bitcoin, 25%. Dollarama, oh wow, Dollarama's really underperforming, down 15% from his entry price. And then we went over Katina Man, Marvell doing them nice, up 20%. My boy, Eli Lilly and BBAI. Yeah, I mean, Katina Man, what are we? 45% here on BBAI. Like, yeah, come on, my God, he can't hit the light bulb with the down 45er.
No, I think the timing was obviously a little unfortunate for some of those names there, but you know, give it a few more weeks or a few more months, they're going to start calling it a bear market. But you know what I mean? We're already starting to kind of come into that kind of territory, and the reversion is definitely here.
Well, I mean, to be classified, do we need the S&P and the NASDAQ to be down 20%?
Necessarily.
Because if you go across the Meg 7, there's only one of them that isn't down 20%, and that's Apple.
Apple, exactly. Apple's the one that has the least volatility. I mean, it was the least affected by the AI run as well over the past year or so, and it's also the least affected by the pullback that some of those names that were, you know, by some definitions overextended, it's less affected by that as well, right? So I think Apple's in a good spot. Like I say this many times, there's only one thing that I like about Apple, and it's their stock.
What scanner do you want? My scanner? Leanne?
Scanners?
Yeah, which she's asking about a scanner. That wasn't a scanner.
This is a position.
Yeah, it's
just a position board type of thing. Yeah.
Tracker. You got to ask Fabian about that one.
Yeah.
So you got to find out how you can contact Fabian. I don't think he's gonna give that one to you. Anyways, yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty good one. Obi, do you want to do a quick review? We'll do the 30-second review as we typically do. We'll fire it off there. Just go through a couple of your trades, what you had today. Fire it up.
Yeah, no, Marvell comes out in the morning with a $2 billion deal with NVIDIA. I'm like, all right, cool, that's interesting, but I like this 95 hold. Breakdown doesn't really break down of 93, so kind of scratch on that one. Beautiful long on the other side. Micron as well, looking for that day 2 continuation. Guess what? Tried it a couple times, did not work. And then USO as well. USO breaking news trade. Didn't really catch the fade, but faded the fade. So the reversion of the reversion, perhaps there, off of 126's quick little scalp there. That's all I really have on board today. What about you?
Good stuff. Thank you, Notorious. Thank you, Leanne. Thanks, Mike Peter Ryder. Everyone in the chat. My boy Loss. My boy Gorev as well. Tobby, Peiko OR, Joe Obi. Big thumbs up. We got IBIT. We have TSLL. TSLL over here. IBIT on the short side. TSLL to the long side. Then we have IREN, the only loser of the day. Lose to her on this one. We take a small loss on that one. And then USO for the Scalp City guys. So not too bad of a look on USO. And that is going to be your 30-second trade review. Nice scalp as USO continues to climb a little bit higher. Guys, market moving a little bit lower. Tortoiseshell type price action on the triple Qs here at those highs. If it breaks support system of $41, that's going to be the T triple Qs. Watch out for some more downside. But that is going to conclude the midday madness. Yes. Some solid trading with your boy Obi and myself. looking forward to a couple more days this week, as well as Sharif is soaking up the sun in Punta Cana.